anticipated addition to the Mummy series outfits is here. Paired with the new 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗗𝗏, the Polar Spectrophage set is just what you need to freeze your enemies. Or send them ablaze with the Inferno Fiend set's new upgradable Chain Inferno Uzi. All the Mummy outfits are back. Get them all. Join now and collect the whole series to turn all eyes on the battleground. Event period, July 10th, 2025 through September 2nd, 2025.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PUBG Mobile Aim Africa Finals. I'm Mega. Alongside me tonight, as usual, 𝗦𝗘𝗚𝗏. 𝗦𝗘𝗚𝗏, how are you, man? Are you ready for these finals?
I'm so ready for the finals, as it was a hectic qualifiers for this, and every team has been already confirmed. And today is going to be full match. It's going to be 2 days for the finals. And today is a full match. Yes.
2 amazing days. 7 games in total. Tonight we're going to see 4 games, but it's going to play 4 different map, of course. We're going to see the usual map that we saw during the semi-finals for today. So 1 Sanhok, 2 Erangel, and 1 Miramar. And tomorrow is going to be 3 last games. Going to be 1 Miramar and 2 Erangel. So hopefully, I believe everyone been waiting for this. We all been waiting for this.
Even us, we've been waiting for the final.
First, you in Mauritius, like a final like that with a lot of African team.
Yes.
Like we can say more than half of this lobby is mainly of the African continent country, and we have around I think 7 Mauritian team competing for this PUBG Mobile Aim Africa final. They all are competing. For a reminder, if you've been following us on our social, if you've been following this semi-final, it was indeed full of a lot of action. We've seen amazing team. We saw a lot of team like we usually see during our national tournament performing way. We saw teams as well performing not really great and didn't achieve the finals, but this time we're gonna see a lot of team. We're gonna, of course, round up do mention all of the teams in a few moments, of course, before the first game. But crazy, we saw a amazing semi-finals, and if you ever have missed any of this game, socials.esportsfaction.com is the link to go for to rewatch this game, and of course to stay tuned on our socials and of course future tournaments.
Yes, and as you mentioned, Omega, there's a lot of team that's already been playing the PMAC, and they are like a 6 team, if I'm not wrong, that has not played PMAC. Maybe they played from the group stage and they did not get qualified for the PMAC, but there's already 10 teams that have some better understanding onto the lobby, because 10 teams has been playing with each other onto the PMAC, and 6 of the team is going to be a bit different for them, as they have never able to be played some stage that other team have played. But today it's going to be difficult to say who's going to make it, because every team that we're seeing in this lobby, they did some performance that we saw in each of the group. It was decent.
And talking about all the teams, let's mention a few teams, or if we have time, if we can mention all of them, and of course a few players that of course we're going to highlight, because these players really did give a lot during the semi-finals. So the first team that is in this lobby is X4 Reject. So we're talking about 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗗𝗏, we're talking about Baby, we're talking about Shiva. So we're going to see on the live stream his name is S. So this player this team, especially from the group D, was amazing last Tuesday. They were like ripping apart the group D lobby.
Even they missed one match on the 3rd game of Erangel. They did not join, and for one game they even played with a trio, but they were playing like a squad. Even they were playing with a trio. So the synergy on the team was on point. Even when taking a team fight, they had the synergy, the communication, the gun power to be able to take the fight. And the second team, Mega, it's Rogue eSports coming from Mauritius. There's a 𝗦𝗧𝗦𝗧𝗦𝗧𝗦 and Thunders Ban. They also have been competing onto some stage that they've been showing their performance from Mauritius, because it's a new roster for Rogue eSports, but some experience also is going to lead them for a win, because they will try to get onto the first place, because the first place is a final slot for the PMAC, and there's a UC also include and
UC.
cash prize also. Yes.
So I'm very amazed with the Rogue eSports new roster. The only two teams that managed to get 2 chicken dinner during the group stage, they were from the group B, and like you mentioned, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗘𝗗𝗏 and even Ban. They did very well into that team. We saw them as a duo clutching for their team, getting these points, going through the numbers, going through a lot of fights. So I believe this is a team from the Mauritian roster that we're gonna surely keep an eye. So we have also 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 saw Melio playing very well. We saw also, we also saw I think Rossini as well did
Yes.
a lot of elimination points. So what I'm liking, I've been mentioning during the semifinals, is a lot of different country from East Africa. So this one,
Yes.
they are the Madagascar representative, and I'm very happy about it. But we do have a Madagascar team, and we have practically all of the team been participating, except from the Group D, from the semifinal, we had a Gabon team, but unfortunately they could not qualify. But we do have a lot of different African team. That's gonna be a mix-up, like we say here, a biryani of teams, of African teams.
Yes, and also Tempa from South Africa also been playing very good that we saw on Group A. They managed of getting no chicken dinner onto.
No chicken dinner.
But
They were just spreading apart.
They were just spreading, and even when it was the group stage, they managed to get 104 points and leading them to get qualified for the 𝗦1 spot. And the most point accumulated for the group stage was from Tempa. And they have the player called 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗘𝗗𝗏, 𝗦𝗘𝗠𝗏, and 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚. And also we have 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗍𝒂, which is also from South Africa, which will be performing. But talking with those two teams, I saw onto the semi-final that they take the same drop location on Erangel. So it's a bit curious that if they're gonna take the same drop, if they're gonna take an early fight into the Erangel match. But the first match is gonna be Sanhok. Sanhok 2 is a bit spreading out, like there's a 10-11 and donkeys landing into the same drop. In bootcamp, always gonna be something different that they have prepared, because they had some time to be able to prepare, and they knew each other from PMAC, which started before PMAA. So they had a lot of time to be able to manage and get more knowledge onto the maps. And the next team, we got Team Tenders from Mauritius. I'm gonna go a bit quicker so you can get a better understanding. Next team is 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏 from Mauritius, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏. I think this team is from which country is 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏?
Let me quick
We will check this but we continue about the team.
This is the only team from the Mauritiana
yes.
representative. Like, I was very happy to see them performing very well.
They did perform very well, yes.
In their group, they were first in the Group C with 1 chicken dinner, and it was amazing how they bounced back. They were struggling during the first few games, but they really bounced back to get the numbers. So with Mori, we saw Mori in that roster playing, like giving everything that he got.
I do remember him, yes.
Doing a lot of numbers, a lot of damage. Like, it was crazy, and I'm hopeful. Hopefully we see a lot of these big fights, because like you mentioned, 𝗦𝗘𝗏, we saw a Group A from the semi-final, which was crazy from the beginning, and this time all these teams are definitely going to be together in this same lobby. So I'm sure tonight we're gonna witness like fights on fights all the way from the start. But there's a lot of teams who's gonna surely be playing safe, like
Yes.
not avoiding early fights. It's a best of 7. Any mistake can cost a lot.
Yes, and also that the first game is a Sanhok match. That's always is starting hot onto the Sanhok, because if it was starting on Erangel, I think teams would like try to understand the lobby and see if the teams are playing a bit aggressive. So it's our opportunity to third party some fight into the surrounding where the team are actually dropping. But onto the Sanhok match is already a map that there's always gunfight most of the time, because as we saw onto the semi-final where we saw different teams taking fights even on particular Sami, and it was taking fight on Hatting also. But for this game, I'm curious to see if the Sanhok is gonna be a rush gunfight.
Sanhok definitely gonna be one of the map that I prefer to see. Like you mentioned, 𝗦𝗘𝗚𝗓, like we like to see this map as a start. It's a map that there's a few vehicles, so most probably every team during their rotation they need to walk, so it increased the chance for them to encounter other teams. And talking about teams, we have the final boss as well, playing very, very well. You had Trinity Gaming also giving everything that they got. We saw Trinity Gaming holding runes, so
their
most
consistency
probably we're
was on
gonna see
point.
them on runes, because that's the game that they got a chicken dinner 10-11. Also playing very well, Mercenary Union. We're gonna see Vibes eSports, and I'm gonna give a shout out to 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏, who is participating into that roster. Vibes eSports was a team like I've been keeping an eye for quite a long time, and performing that well into the semi-final, I'm very surprised, and I'm hopefully we hope to see even more surprise. We have also Donkey DK, Reject X, and the Somalia team, Dog Squad Somalia. So the game has started, 𝗦𝗘𝗚𝗓. Let's jump into the first game of this PUBG Mobile AIM Africa final, the D1 of this event, dropping hopped. I hope you guys at home watching this, thank you once again for being with us all the way from the semi-finals till now, because now we are going dropping hot into this first game of Sanhok. We can already see all these team, a drop location that looks really, really nice for all of them.
Yes.
Coming all the way from Lakawi to Tambang.
I'm seeing Reject X is taking a different drop location that they did not go onto the semi-final. They went to Kao. Also, Trinity Gaming went very close to Dog Squad into the semi-final. They went a bit, as you mentioned earlier on, they went a bit close to Runes. That's our Rage drop location, even from the PMAC. So for X-Force Reject, it's a new drop that I did not see them taking, and it's a work that they have been doing to be able to know each location. And even Reject X, it's a split that I remember that Zeus been doing when they play, but now there's no Zeus into this lobby, so they're doing a similar type of rotation on how they're doing this.
Most of the team really look spread up from their teammates. We already see RJC. They are all around of Charlie, and we have one of the RRQ team that seems to have missed the bus, seems to have not dropped with his teammate, and he's quite separated from his remaining teammate. And on the screen, we can see a team that most probably everyone will be taking a close eye on them. Is the X for Reject, the team that been putting have been surprising everyone. They've been chasing every team. We saw that on the Group D during the semi-finals. They were like taking some crazy fight, taking a lot of risks. But will we see them taking that same risk in that kind of a lobby? Because we are talking about a final, which it's definitely not a semi-final. Are they gonna be that at ease like we saw during the semi-final?
That would be surprising to see, because X-Force Reject, they were not scared to be able to take a fight, but for the final, it's a bit scared to play like aggressive. Like if you're trying to be aggressive in the final and have a team that's going to third party you, you're going to lose some player too. So Reject, they might play like the same way, but a fight's already been started from Rock Esports. Why got the first blood taken for his team, 1 point for Rock Esports, and their drop rotation also. They looted onto Painan, which was very close to Reject Esports, but they are doing a different kind of split next to Quarry and the small compound nearby. I don't know if they have spotted other player from Reject to be able to get more information onto this map, and Vibe Esports are looting peacefully onto Paradise because also on the group stage we saw them taking next to Paradise, and now we see Got putting another knock onto Reject Paradox. Reject is losing 2 players.
What is going on with Rejects? We don't usually see them playing that way.
Maybe,
also seeing Paradox.
Yes, I do agree with you, but I think it's because maybe a Rogue Esports tried something new that they were not expecting from
That's
Rogue
what we
Esports.
wanted to
Yes,
see. Some surprise, some crazy plays.
because when you're not that plan like other team, is going to be a bit disadvantage for some team, and we can see that X-Force Reject, without losing no time, they're trying to rotate. Are they rotating to get in the zone, or are they rotating to get the kills, to get some more points onto the surrounding? Because when they're trying to rotate, they will try to hold a compound or just try to get into a fight.
Which is very interesting. If they keep on driving in that direction, they are going straight into Rogue Esports, and it's going to be very interesting to see these 2 teams that been already been putting a little bit of pressure during that start of the game. X-Force, we saw them till the start of the game, till the end. We saw them looking for the fights, and it looks like they are indeed they are using this sound cue, looking for maybe teams fighting between each other to third party, because they need those elimination points. We've been saying that it's not only about placement point for this top of 7. Even if it's not a top of 4, a best of 4, like the semi-final, it's a best of 7. Any points, any elimination points that they can gather all the way from the start of this final will be very beneficial for them.
Yes, and X-Force are trying to spot the front in front of them, and I don't think that Reverb has the idea that there is Team Thunders in front of them holding this compound.
He's going in.
Yes, he's going in, but I don't think he heard a footstep because he is the scout of the team trying to get the information needed forward. But he's trying to get the information onto this compound, and everyone is just keeping...
they are standing still. They are not giving the Sanhok. They are maybe waiting for 1 or 2 of them to commit into getting into this compound all alone to secure a few knock. But we all see a high, unfortunately, from the Team Thunders team getting a knock and getting sent back to the lobby. But Team Thunders, they are fighting back. That's what we want to see. They are claiming their zone right now, and they are trying to force back the X-Force Reject team. Innate from Nasser has knocked 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗏 all the way from the different compound. There's only 2 remaining players from Thunder's team to try to hold, but X4 Reject, they are going together to get Boy, and he needs to try his best, but unfortunately could not make it through versus this Silva.
He
and
lost Reverb into this fight, and still 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗏 is already knocked. There's a 1 lost player into Team Thunders.
It's a 2v1 that can be very interesting. It can turn the way round for RJC. With that net connect, 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗏 was too low for that. Come on, Quicks, can you do it? But it's a back to a lobby, unfortunately. The first team to get sent back to the lobby.
And Rogue
is Team Thunder.
Esports went in Painan to be able to find the other players for Reject. Why the fight of Team X-Force and Team Thunders was going on? Those 2 teams are still fighting, and Reject, they came back to Painan to be able to get some more loot, but Rogue Esports, they are hungry for those kills. There's only 2 players left against a full squad. The nade has been thrown. 1 knock from 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗏. Will he be able to get the first? And yes, he did get the first. 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 got sent back to the lobby. Is he going to get the over knocks? Because there's a duo versus a trio. and this is a beautiful knock, but he also got a knock where he was sent back to the lobby. Nova trying to push onto the stairs. The only player surviving for Rock Esports, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏.
He needs to go for it.
He needs to go for it, but 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏
Committing on the river.
yes, he just turned the situation. He just turned the situation because there was a duo
It was
versus
before V2.
and 𝗚𝗏𝗦𝗏 just got into the scene for the third party. 𝗚𝗏𝗦𝗏 already had the information. Maybe they're just following the kill feed, and they're also it's an easy kill even for them because it's only one duo, it's two duos, and Rock Esports also got one knock. So Nova on the remaining. Nova decide to just get inside the vehicles and put the health, and 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏, two players alive, getting the pressure from 𝗚𝗏𝗦𝗏. And they are stuck into the compound, won't be able to do anything. Nova is still safe for the moment, still sitting into the vehicles. But do you think that 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏 will be able to secure those points? And Nova is trying to run back, but he won't be able to escape from 𝗚𝗏𝗦𝗏. And 𝗚𝗏𝗦𝗏 already eliminated the player from Nova. Is trying to eliminate the player from 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏, but already done. Got back to the lobby. 2 kills from 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏 and 1 kill from Rock Esports.
I'm definitely sure that they are quite happy about it.
They
3
are.
elimination for them. That was, we can say it was served for them. They came for the third party. They saw a few players from Rock Esports like crawling around. They claimed that elimination points for them, and
It was an easy fight also for them. They did not to do a lot of things. They just come close to Pine and actually have the opportunity to get a fight. Now another team we're seeing on the screen. We're seeing Dog Squad Somalia fighting against Angry. He's bare low on health, but he's getting the cover from his teammates. Holographic onto the MK416, but nearly got knocked. 1/4 HP onto the health. And we're also seeing that final boss is taking a fight between 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏. Only one player left for this team. It's a bad start. It's a pretty bad start for them because 4 kills only, and if no survival point, it's going to be a pretty bad start. But there's still more games left to go, and we can see only one team, 3 teams has gone back to lobby. Even Team Senders also. The zone is closing, and there's 10-11 holding, trying to hold the mountain of bootcamp close to 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏, Shiba, trying to get the information, going a bit straight to 10-11. Yes, he's going a bit straight to 10-11, but he heard them, and I think it's just going to change the direction. Even Tempa, another kind of rotation, because they were looting Sami. It's a long rotation that they pass from Kampong, Lakawi, and Ban to be able to get there. And Angry, holding strong this Rage, trying to find the Dog Squad.
yeah, this zone looks quite similar from a Group C, from the Sanhok game from the Group C, where we saw the final boss controlling that zone that Angry is controlling right now. So there might be a chance that this will be closing in this spot. That's why we are seeing Angry 𝗦𝗏𝗏 holding that position, like praying maybe for that zone to keep on closing in from that direction and making sure that no team, like we can see, they are spread all around this ridge, 2 from that side and 2 from the other side. They are not letting, they are keeping an eye on the whole horizon, making sure that they are spotting any team that are trying to rotate. They are not really working towards these points, these skill points like we saw for the rest of the team, but those teams that went for these elimination points, we saw them losing the numbers, we saw them losing the players. I'm talking about RJC. They went for this elimination point. They went into a fight with Team Thunders. They lost 2 of their players, and now they are alone with one of them. And Temper on the screen, they saw the final boss all the way to the other side. But this long distance shot, it's gonna be very interesting if both teams gonna be fighting between each other.
Yes,
it's 2 very good teams we saw during the semi-final.
Because final boss is holding a high ridge right now and getting the information forward. And I think one player has already rotated to the right side to be able to get more angle onto this fight, because I think final boss, they will need to take this fight as the zone has already been closed for stage 3. And they have 300 meters to go to the zone, but they will do it from the vehicles. And this vehicle is looking very good, Mega.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I never seen a skin this type, but it's looking pretty sick for Tampa. And Tampa is already starting to make the rotation to get into the zone, because this is 43 players still alive, 12 teams, and stage 3. And for Sanhok, we even saw that a player that he did a heating battle onto the semi-final. This also can possibly happen, because
It was a Group C. It
Yes.
was indeed in the Group C.
because even we can see that 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘𝗗𝗏, Shiva, he's a solo. If he managed to loot his teammate and the other craze that was into the compound, he would be able to get more first seed to actually have a better placement onto the zone, because he's a solo. He can't risk to be able to get into the zone. But 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘𝗗, they might push into Shiva. Shiva is into the zone. He's holding into the zone, but 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘𝗏 decide to hold onto a ridge to be able to get information which player is coming from the behind.
The zone is closing. We haven't seen any map yet, but what I can tell you, it's closing very similar to that Group C. It's keep on closing to the northern side. That's why we've been seeing this team. We saw Tampa starting to rotate into that northern part, and they were indeed blocking the way from the final boss. But look what final boss did. They knew they need to get to that northern part of this Sanhok map. They rotated all the way
Yes.
outside of the blue zone
Yes.
to get that northern part. But will Angry spot them? It's gonna be they are definitely not be letting anyone getting in that northern part. But the final boss, they played very well that zone during that Group C. But they are hearing the fights, and they are hearing fights very close to Tampa, and they decided to come and check what is going on.
Yes, they heard
They got 2 elimination points as well for that.
I think it's one player from Tampa, and I remember one player from 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘𝗏. And Tampa is down to 3 players. It's unfortunate while rotating, but Angry X Smoke, they are just chilling for holding this place. But only final boss can get there, and they are making the rotation to get there. But
They are going straight into Angry X. Angry X gonna hear
I
this
think
vehicle
RR just got
coming.
into information that there's already players there holding, and they will try
And
to
the final
push.
boss is like, okay, there's someone
What
here.
a knock!
What a knock from Hans!
It was just, I think it was just 2 bullets. Maybe his other teammates also shot him, but he went down pretty quick. And he's just getting pushed. And his other teammates, they will need to think the situation, because the final boss are pushing with 4 players, and he's taking a fight, but he puts them a bit low, Mega.
That's definitely not something Angry wanted. They already lost this eastern part, this very good hill. It was a very good
They were
high
not
ground.
expecting a
We're
team.
not expecting that, and we saw Hans with that knock. I
Yes.
believe it was like 1 or 2 headshots that really connected and got the knock. And now Angry, they need to think about it. They need to consider, and they are quite a bit spread. We have one of the player MLK, which is in the sniper tower right now.
One knock from Team Angry onto final boss, but he will get revived pretty quick. But they did not confirm the kill from Angry. They're not getting
He managed
the angle on
He's
him.
crawling his way back to his teammate. Will 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘𝗏 or 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚 also is a very good player. We've been seeing him from the group stage playing very well, but he's starting to bleed out. He's very low, and unfortunately his team won't be committing into that revive. And final boss, we see Kairos getting into the buggy, looking for to closing on the distance, and he is indeed going straight away in the direction of Angry. This is going to be a very interesting situation. Kairos giving the information right now where are the few players from Angry. He did a few damage on MLK, and
Wow.
but MLK4 fighting back and giving back what the same medicine that the final boss
Beautiful
been
nades
giving.
coming.
So opportunity for Angry to do push forward, and maybe it's gonna be a nice knock. And indeed, Hans is the one to get knocked, and we can see that Ara is trying from a long distance to get the knock, but will he come for his teammate? But unfortunately for final boss, Angry did very bad. They waited that opportunity. We can say they baited in a way the final boss
That's
to
true.
come on them, and Angry got the time to regroup. that's what we wanted to see. Like this team, knowing that they are way too spread to regroup and anticipate any flanks, any push. Angry 𝗦𝗧𝗦𝗏, they played very well into that situation. Even if they lost the numbers, they lost a very good player, which was keeping an eye on that northern part. But they claim that northern zone. But unfortunately, the zone is decided to not play in their favor and is going closer to Paradise Resort instead.
Oh, and it's going to be an advantage for Vibe as they drop into Paradise Resort, and they were still staying there. And it's a fight starting against Mercenary Union and 10-11. He would be nearly knocked, but thankfully he was able to put his first hit because they're trying to fight close range, and Mercenary is looking no time even for no knock. He's trying to push. I think he already sent one player from 10-11 back to lobby, and one nade that was crucial. He nearly got knocked onto the scene. Mercenary is getting no time to push his team because they need to get in the zone into 25 seconds. So they need to push, and 10-11, he got another player from into a different range, and the 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘 just throwed. Yes,
that's definitely something that he unfortunately couldn't dodge. So opportunity for Mercenary to seal that deal for this fight. But Traitor is not letting this happen. A few players from Mercenary has been already been knocked. One of them already sent back to the lobby, and one is knocked right now. So definitely 10-11, they have an opportunity to fight back this situation, but they need 𝗏𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 is trying to fight a long distance, but leaving Traitor behind. But this smoke been hiding Traitor. Traitor has no first aid to commit, and he's trying to hold the maximum possible for his teammate 𝗏𝗏𝗏 to come, but unfortunately he got a knock. But Traitor is still here, and now 𝗏𝗏𝗏 is coming in to give an help, but he was not expecting one player healing on that porch in front of the door, and Traitor, he has no healing. He needs to end this fight before being sent back to the lobby, and unfortunately 10-11 sent back to the lobby. Mercenaries, they need to loot, they need to get those healing. They are outside of the zone, and luckily they are still into that fight.
Yes, and many team was fighting outside the zone because there's a lot of teams still alive. They have no place to be able to get into the zone. That's why this fight is coming a bit long. And we even saw that Trinity Gaming was behind the last player for 10-11, and they came close to RR Rage, which they are sitting peacefully into the compound. I think they don't have the information that Trinity Gaming is already holding the ridge up on them, but Trinity Gaming, they are not into the zone, I think, but they do know, they did indeed hear them because they have vehicles that they approach onto this angle, and they are fighting. 𝗦𝗧𝗦𝗏 is coming onto Trinity Gaming. Is it gonna connect? No connection was made, and Temper onto the high ridge, doing some angle. 𝗦𝗏𝗏 nearly got knocked from the vehicles, and Trinity Gaming managed to put one knock onto RR Rage, trying to get into the zone. Zone is nearly close of them. Trinity Gaming have the vehicles to be able to move. They have a nice ridge that they will be able to play.
That hill gonna give them that upper hand on all this team, but I don't think that RH gonna let that happen. But
Tempo is into the angle in front of them, and it's a lot of team into this hill, Mega. There's 4 teams into this hill. There's even
Crazy Sanhok for sure, and all this team, they want the best place into the zone, but Trinity is trying to hold the maximum possible. Now RRQ getting sandwiched, they were definitely trying to hide their position, but all this team converging into that hill, looking for that high ground next to Paradise Resort. They know it's the best in zone position, but Vibes eSports, they are indeed also in a good position, and they are trying their best to hold their plays. We saw Vibes try to get one knock on the Trinity Gaming player. Trinity Gaming playing as a duo, and the only team which is a full squad right now, but one knock so far is Vibe eSports. They need to hold that ground. Ronic needs to get a revive, and I want to see more from Zeldris for this play. We saw him a few moments ago trying to get a play on that on the Temper team, or even on the RRG team, and we saw Vibes, they are committing. We want to push, they want to close that distance, but unfortunately Sai got give a knock on Frags and 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏. That's what I was waiting for. That angle was very favorable for him to spot a few players from Tampa and Tampa being sent back to the lobby. This first game is being contested by 4 teams and a little bit of advantage for 𝗦𝗏 eSports right now, playing as a trio and a duo of 𝗦𝗏𝗔𝗏 and RRQ is a solo and Trinity Gaming a duo. So Trinity Gaming are losing that numbers. They are not getting that favored from the zone. They are being forced to get into that zone and that play zone is really damaging them. But who are the one going to be claiming those elimination points is definitely 𝗦𝗏𝗔𝗏. 3 team remaining. It's going to be a close game between 𝗦𝗏 eSports, I think, and 𝗦𝗏𝗔𝗏. Who's going to get this first chicken dinner of this final? 𝗦𝗏𝗏 definitely look very prepared about it. They are playing it safe, holding that higher ground. They knew they had that advantage of higher ground.
It's a 3v3 now. It's a 𝗦𝗏𝗔𝗏 against 𝗦𝗏, and they are holding the numbers 3v3. But we are seeing that 𝗦𝗏𝗔𝗏 have 10 elimination kills and 𝗦𝗏 has only 2. So for 𝗦𝗏𝗏 to be able to get more points, they will need those 3 kills and the chicken dinner. But we can see that
the zone are closing in. They are being forced to a little bit abandon this
They're trying to get the nades from the
They need to do that. Like, they can have the high ground, but they don't have the information where exactly are the 3 players from 𝗦𝗏𝗏. One of them reveal their location, and of course they get the cover. But the nade from 𝗦𝗏𝗏 can do a play into that game. 𝗦𝗏𝗏 going for it, 2 knock from 𝗦𝗏𝗏, but it's 𝗦𝗏𝗔𝗏 getting this first chicken dinner of tonight from these finals. I believe it was very well played from 𝗦𝗏𝗔𝗏, even if they wanted into best place into that zone. But 𝗦𝗏 eSports, they had to abandon their comfort zone and they tried to do a play on 𝗦𝗏𝗔𝗏. It was a 3v3 situation, but 𝗦𝗏𝗔𝗏 well defended from them.
Yes, 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 was just looking for opportunities. The thing is, 𝗦𝗏 eSports was trying to push one solo, and they had 3 players attack him directly when they heard the footstep coming close to him. So it was not a very good decision coming from the player from 𝗦𝗏 that pushed solo, because 𝗦𝗏𝗏 also, he was putting in this nade. If this nade connected well, he would be able to get the 3rd kill, knock 2, because he managed to put 2 knock on 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. But unfortunately, there was no kill confirmed from 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 for 𝗦𝗏, so there was only 2 elimination points that has been confirmed only for 𝗦𝗏. And second, it was still decent. They've been playing consistency. We saw from the semi-final.
But I was expecting more nades to be thrown between each team. But I'm not sure if 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 had that nade. But we did saw that 𝗦𝗏 eSports, they had a few nades, but we saw only one being thrown by 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Yes, but when 𝗦𝗏 was trying to push forward onto Tampa when they were holding the ridge, that is when 𝗦𝗏 used all their nades. Because when they were trying to loot Tampa's crate, there was only 1 nade, I think, that 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 had onto the possession, but there was no nade left. And even 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, they've been fighting from the compound, because the way they managed to get into this hill, it was a bit difficult, because we saw them getting pressure from Tampa, also from the ridge, getting nade. And onto the right side, there was Trinity Gaming trying to get into the zone, but 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 play it smartly with each other, with every teammate, that there was only three players alive, but even then they managed to get this chicken dinner. Well played for the first match. Even there's 3 matches left, but this Sanhok, we saw a lot of fight, and a lot of team that was taking a fight from the blue zone also, and it was a bit damage that they had been doing. But first fight that we saw on the screen was 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. I don't know if 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 was trying to get into a fight, or they were just rotating to get into a fight, because since the semi-final, when we saw them rotating after looting, they always try to get some kills, try to start the fight directly. But now when we see Team Tenders and 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 was fighting, they managed to get 2 kills in Tender, but 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, they had only 4 points that was confirmed, 4 kills. So for the 3 match that's remaining, they need to step up to be able to get the first place, because everyone is fighting for the first place onto for the PMAA, Mega.
Yeah, the first place, that of course, that direct invitational slot for the PMAC. And on the highlights, we can see X4 Reject. They wanted to try the same strategy that they did during the semi-final, but unfortunately didn't went well for them. They went straight away into Team Thunders. Team Thunders, which are reputed to be holding their position very well. We saw a similar fight between X4 Rejects and Trinity Gaming on Sanhok, where Trinity Gaming managed to hold that position with the advantage into their numbers, but it did not went well for X4 Reject. They lost 2 players in that fight, and they already lost that momentum into that last season.
Yep. And for this fight, Rock Esports, they already had 2 kills from Reject, but
they were putting a lot of pressure. They were chasing the remaining Reject X team, but unfortunately, it went south for them versus
as you
Reject
can
X.
see on the screen also, our Rage heard the gunshot and they start getting the vehicle close to Painan, and they are also reading the kill feed to be able to get the information. Okay, it's Rock Esports and Reject X, so there's only 2 players alive, and we need to push them because it's easy elimination if we manage to push together and get those kills. So that's what our Rage do. They played every fight smartly, not causing a fight to be able to lose players. So for Rock Esports, I don't think it was a very good decision to actually get every kill for Reject X, because even they got 2 elimination, it was good. They had time to be able to rotate further into the zone, but they decided to push Reject X onto Painan, which was not a very good decision.
Most probably they committed into this fight because they knew they were maybe as in duo, but something to consider, especially into Sanhok, especially into the start of the game, is that third party is definitely gonna happen if your fight takes a lot of time, and this fight did take a lot of time because of Reject X was not letting Rock Esports to ramp up on them, and I'm wanting to know who was the player from Reject X that really defended. I believe it was a team player or one of them really defended that position, because we saw one by one these players from Rock Esports falling one by one.
Even in this fight, Mega, I thought that the final boss would have the advantage onto Angry because they managed to get 1 knock and finish, but it was a fight that was not really communicated because they were separated, but even Ara was trying to get the angle onto Team Angry, but it was not that pressure that was coming from them. They lost 3 players and Ara was the only survival player that was going to the zone, so it was a bit unfortunate for them trying to get the kills, but they did not do it onto the right way. And even 10-11 and Mercenary Union, this fight was a pretty long fight. Even Trinity Gaming was.
We saw a lot of time that 10-11 players was literally 1 HP from nades, from even all sort of damage. We were always at 1 HP versus this Mercenary.
That's what I'm thinking, because 10-11, they had no players in bootcamp. They had the whole bootcamp to be able to loot, and they did not have much healing for them. And that's why they did not loot bootcamp much, or they just avoid the first aid to be able to get the nades, the bullet that they need for the fight.
It was mostly 10-11 that really ran out of healing. We saw Trader couldn't even push a first aid into that fight. He had to commit on bandages, and I think Bigu as well took a little bit way too much time to give that cover, to give that support with his player. I believe he was thinking that much of Mercenaries player rushing on that one player of 10-11, he decided to stay back, maybe
and also there
save
was
that placement
Trinity
point.
Gaming behind him. So if he was shooting and Trinity Gaming here, that's it, there's a player here, it's easy kill for Trinity Gaming. So he just waited for the perfect moment, and when he heard Trinity Gaming rotate from the vehicle, that's when he started to go to the zone.
Crazy knock, we just saw that on the screen. Crazy knock from Hans, and if we could have here the ting 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 for sure, but definitely some few headshot in that kill. It was very fast.
Even if we see the scene clearly, Mega, RR Rage, this position for them was very difficult because where they managed to get into the zone, they were getting pressure from 𝗬𝗘, who was holding the hills just before them. And it would be very difficult for them to get into the zone. But thankfully, that Vibe also was putting the pressure onto 𝗬𝗘, and that's how RR Rage also was able to get into the zone. Because if Vibe did not help RR Rage, kill 𝗬𝗘, this fight would be difficult for RR Rage. And even when we saw Godly throw that nade, there was a bit of connection, but it was not much
enough. He did throw a put of that player down, and one of the player of our age was really low. I believe maybe 30% HP.
Yes.
It could have been a clutch from Vibes Esports, but our age deserved that chicken dinner. They've been working hard. Vibe Esports was well settled from there. They dropped into Paradise Zone,
and the zone was next to Paradise, so
like,
they had no rotation to be done. They
did
just
not
stayed.
had to put the effort.
Yes,
and it was our age that had to do a long way, fighting a lot of
teams. They came from Runes and passed to Painan and went to this hill onto Paradise. So it was a pretty long rotation coming from our rage. Even when we saw 𝗬𝗘 looting Sammy and getting from the reach of Cave and rotating to the right side. So the rotation that they're doing into the early zone is pretty on point, because they're not actually fighting and getting engaged with other squad. So it's planning that they have already done, I think, when showing it on the screen. But it was a well chicken dinner for RR Rage, and even they have the adrenaline has already started. So they need to carry on with this, because there's other good teams also, even X-Force Reject. I know they're gonna come stronger for the next game. So RR Rage needs to know that there are people also who will be taking their place, and they're already first onto the map. But even for Vibe Esports, they managed to get, I think, onto 10 points we can say, but it's not also enough, because the kills, they're not actually getting much kill. They're just focusing on the survival.
We saw 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏 putting a few knocks, getting a few elimination points, but we are gonna see soon, of course, the match ranking for that first game to see where are the numbers. I don't think there's a team that's been crushing that lobby with a lot of elimination points. Most probably the points are pretty much spread up between each other. We saw Final Boss getting a few elimination points. We saw Angry X getting theirs as well. RJC also during that Team Thunder fight. Even Team Thunder, before getting sent back to the lobby as the first team, they also went back to the lobby with 2 eliminations from
I think
RJC.
It's only RR Rage that got 2-digit number of kills. I think.
Yeah, they've been fighting 𝗬𝗘 from their right side, been controlling the final zone. But I was thinking that it was a game for Vibe Esports, and I believe all the spectators as well were definitely thinking, okay, Vibe Esports again. Like, I was gonna be very surprised and very happy for Vibe Esports, like showing that kind of performance during a final. Like I said earlier, Vibes Esports is a team that we've been seeing into the motion scene for quite a while, but it's a complete different performance. Like, they are not playing aggressively, but they are defending. Like, they do defend their position very well, but this time they had to play a little bit of offensive. They had to move. That blue zone was not giving them that a nice time, so they had to do something about it. But like you mentioned, 𝗦𝗘𝗘𝗏, they sent one of the players to the right, and losing that player, I believe at that time, it caused a lot of confusion. Godly nade in hand, tried to do a play, losing that numbers, maybe miscommunication during
the first player who tried to push RR Rage, if he gave the information to the players who was into the left and actually synchronized when he's pushing, they will be focusing onto the right player, and the left player engage then, because all the 3 players was focusing onto the right player. That would be more decent for Godly also to put. So I think it was a problem of communication also when pushing together, because when we can see different squad that X-Force Reject, even RR Rage, Mercenary, 10-11, when they push together. They push with a synergy and know what they are doing. So Vibe Esports must try to build this strength this synergy together when pushing. We must know the strength of the team, because you're just pushing solo by solo. That's what happened. And we saw a similar kind of fight even in Painan when Rug Esports was a full squad and he was trying to push Reject X, which was a duo. They were trying to push one by one, and we were shotgun. You're just standing onto and just aiming at the angle of the door where they're gonna come through. So it's gonna happen, because shotgun on close range gonna get down.
Yeah, that's definitely something to be very scared of. But our age, the team from Madagascar, like I hope I'm seeing a lot of Madagascar flag into our live on the live stream. Anywhere that you're watching, most probably maybe you're watching from TikTok or even from YouTube. And if you're liking what you're seeing, do give us, of course, a follow on our eSportsfaction channel. Like, the support is always welcome, of course. And if you want more information or to view all the previous stream or upcoming tournaments, our Instagram, what we did before, what LAN tournament, what we did a lot of tournament all the way from 2021. So the pictures are on Instagram. So do check our socials, so socials.esportsfaction.com. Do give us a follow and a subscribe if you are interested to see even more.
Of course, because in the future there will be more, because this was the time for Africa this year, 2025.
Time for Africa.
Tamina. So in 2026, I hope there will be still more from Tencent. Because this year has been insane coming both.
This month,
yes,
this one has been insane. We've been served. We've been treated like very well with Tencent, with PUBG Mobile Aim Africa, PUBG Mobile Africa Cup, which is still ongoing. We have two more days. This Saturday and this Sunday to finally lock in that 14 team that's gonna be sent. But that's gonna go to Kenya, Nairobi. Yesterday we saw that they revealed the date, which is gonna be the 14th and the 15th of September, and it's gonna be a chartered hall. So the tickets are also available. So do check PUBG Mobile Africa channel on TikTok, or I believe on Instagram as well, to get the link if you're interested to be part of that event. There's a lot of goodies that you are getting with that early birds tickets. So do grab your tickets if you want to assist.
And
at
it's
this
not that
final.
expensive, because when you try to get the ticket at last moment, it's gonna be pretty expensive. And you say, okay, I should have got early bird, and we'd have been
early
able to
bird. You're getting a backpack from PUBG.
That would be
very great, and wristband.
Yes,
I would love to get a wristband.
Oh yes,
I would love
yes.
to get a wristband.
You had one, I remember, from
I had one very long ago.
From ISF, right?
Yeah, from ISF, and definitely like something to be collecting.
Yes, it's a memory. It's something like, okay, where you got that? Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story how I got it. And
but for sure, this LAN final at Chartered Hall gonna be crazy. So if you don't want to, it's gonna be 16 of the best African team. We're talking about all the best African team. Even if it's in the continent, even if it's the islands, I'm talking about Madagascar. We have also a lot of Mauritian team that are into that top 14. So definitely something to be considered into this tournament.
Because it's different too, Mega. Because we know from Africa we had some teams that played PMPL, but this stage for PMGC had never been done before. Because this is a very big opportunity. Because if these teams goes to PMGC and actually perform very, very well, Tencent
Africa
also is going to realize, okay, there's another type of
region.
Exactly, energy from Africa. So we need to give them more opportunity to perform better onto the global. And we really hope that this team who's going to perform very good onto the PMGC, because it's something crucial and never had been done before. Because we had other teams that did play PMPL, and PMPL also, let me tell you, it was a very difficult stage. You've
been playing that for 2 or 3 years, and playing it online was definitely very hard.
It was very hard.
This time they are getting a finals, which is gonna be
and
a LAN
thankfully
event.
it's a LAN event that everyone's gonna play with the same device, same MS. So no one's gonna complain, oh, my MS was not good. So everyone's gonna get fair play.
And,
are,
and especially very close to the new server, which is the Nigeria server. So I believe it's going to be very low MS, but I don't think no one, especially Mauritius, has witnessed yet that lowest MS ever. But we are going straight away, ladies and gentlemen, for the second game of tonight. We are indeed into the AIM Africa finals. We already saw a first game won by 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦, the Madagascar team, shining up for this first game of Sanhok. But this time, we are going back to the classic. And we're going to definitely see a lot of Erangel into that finals. So all this team will be claiming this chicken dinner for Erangel, but because it's a map which has a lot of possibilities, which has a lot of strategy. We saw even in the semifinals some hard shift, but gave a lot of team a lot of opportunity for them to accumulate a lot of elimination points, and that drop location as well looks very favorable for all these teams. They practically, most of them got their drop location. I believe some of them will also commit on Military Island, even if it's that far. But 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘, like you mentioned during the semi-final, is for RJC, already well settled into 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘. A few concentration or team around 𝗦𝗘𝗠𝗜 City and Containers, and a few of them around the southern port of Pubg as well.
And something new that I just saw that Reject X, they were taking near shelter. Now they took Primus, which Trinity Gaming was taking Primus into the semi-final. And even that we saw RR Rage taking Milta Power, but it's very far away, so they landed in Geogopol, close to Mercenary Union. And they might start a fight, but they're not in the zone. They will try to loot peacefully and try to do the rotation without fighting each other. We see the final boss in Mauritius local tournament. They take 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗧, but they're not trying to fight X-Force Reject. They will be looting 𝗦𝗧𝗏. So into the north of the Erangel, there's some teams that might be into some fights because those drop locations are pretty close with each other. So when rotating, they might it might get messy. And we see our Rage also trying to get the vehicles into the first moment to be able to make the rotation easy. And Mercenary looting still also looking for vehicles. And reason there's no team onto the container, but two teams onto the Geogopol. It's Vibe and Rock Esports. And we saw something different that been mentioning that Angry, he was taking the same drop as Temper when I saw into the semi-final, but now they went to Pachinki. We are looting Pachinki, which it's going to be a drop where it's more favorable to move, even if you need to cross the bridge or going onto 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏. But yes.
There's only one team into 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏. You've been mentioning 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏. We saw most of the time during the semi-final, two teams were trying to claim 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 for them. A very good drop location with a lot of loot. But this time we have only 10-11 in 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏. And we saw also it was very weird to see a lot of team favorable really going into the apartment near school, or even going in school as well. There's no team into Rozok, but there is team funders into the school apartment area. And you said, yep, Angry X into Pachinki, Tampa around a farm. So it's gonna, we do see an early rotation for
it's a new job for RRQ too, because they were looting at Novo, and they also went to where RR Rage is looting, but I think they also did the planning. That's why they dropped somewhere further. But 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 is looting very close to them, and I think both team already knows that they're being watched together. But are they going to take an early fight? Because Bara Boy, he's a bit further from his teammate, and RRQ is already making a rotation, getting close to Yakuza, going onto the compound. As we are seeing onto the minimap, Murray is still holding the squad house behind him, and Yakuza, I think he's hearing the vehicles, but he's trying to stay still into the compound, not making any decision yet because that might be crucial for the team.
They need to bring in the numbers before attempting anything. That's why we are seeing 𝗦𝗘𝗠𝗜 coming in for the help, giving in the support. He's waiting for 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗓. Let's go, let's go. You saw people around. Let's go. Let's get moving. Let's regroup or even pushing.
If he was into this compound, he would have get 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 and 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏. Because he stopped a very wrong place, but thankfully the other player was onto a different compound. Trying to push.
That's what we wanted to see. We didn't see 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 in the first game. This time we are seeing them into action. A nade, which he thought is gonna be on the first floor, but he is outside and didn't connect it, but the RRQ nade connected into 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏, which is very low right now. But what a shotgun from 𝗏𝗏𝗏. The nice knock for him. 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 with the knock, and the backup is starting to be coming for RRQ. We have one of the player giving that information. We have 6ix9ine all the way on the high ground. So unfortunately, 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 already losing some numbers. And Mori, if maybe 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 can get spotted from Mori, and I believe he was RRQ was getting the information that 𝗦𝗧𝗏 was just behind that road. So Paraboy, he needs to do something about it. He maybe knows that there is 6ix9ine apart from his team, and 6ix9ine, he want to take the fight. The AKM not doing that job that he was expecting, and now RRQ going in for that one player from 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏. Paraboy don't know where to look at. He's trying to do a play on the left or on the right, but unfortunately,
it was a very wrong fight for them, because even 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, we saw that they did not have enough loot, even first aid. That's what 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏, they did a wrong decision trying to push the RRQ, because RRQ is a team from the PMCA also competing onto the stage.
But I'm quite surprised, because on Tuesday we saw 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 winning that Sanhok game into their Group C, but the Erangel game into their Group C. So if they won a chicken dinner into their semi-finals, it's a different performance from them tonight.
Even if it was a wrong decision that they tried to push and tried to get the elimination, because they know that there was no team into the surroundment, so it would be only against them, 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 versus RRQ. So there would be no third party, and 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 tried to take the risk without actually having some decent loot to be able to fight, because we saw RRQ trying to get different angles, having a long-range fight. So they were well equipped with scope, M4, and even the push from 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 was not very good.
They got baited. They definitely
they even could like try to fall back without actually engaging with the fight, but when you saw he would turn around and crash directly to the compound.
Maybe he saw that there was only one player shooting, so thinking, okay, let's do a play. Maybe there's only one or two players. They did saw that one player shooting from the ground floor, but upon pushing, he decided to throw that nade on the first floor instead. But the player was already outside of that compound and anticipating that play.
Player went outside to be able to get cover from his teammate from the back. So that's the communication synergy that we've been seeing those teams are putting onto those maps. So some of the team need to learn from each other, how they're playing, how they're building those strategy, how they'll keep winning every fight they're taking. So we still see that 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 playing a bit slow. They were trying to fight 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 in Union, but did not connect, did not get any knock. Still trying to loot Baby, still looting the compound, and 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 reverb rotating a bit. Dog Squad proning onto the ground, trying to find someone, or trying to find a vehicle. Or there was someone rotating nearby. That's why he's just keeping into this bush right now, jumping. Okay, he's moving out. He needs to find vehicles to get into the zone, because he's not even in the zone. But where's his teammate? Where's his teammate is trying to... okay, he's doing a bridge camp and actually expecting some of the teams are going to pass this bridge. And I think it's going to be only RRQ, because they were the one that was fighting a bit close. But all the buggy of the Dog Squad, is it where hidden? Because if RRQ see this buggy, I don't think they would try to pass, because still stage 1, they would try to rotate from the other bridge near to Novo. And if we open the map and if we see that RRQ is very close to them, but Dog Squad, I don't think they will try to take the damage, but because we even see he doesn't have any first aid with him, only 15 bandage, so it's better for him to go into the zone, not trying to take the fight against into the blue zone.
But I think that RRQ will better choose to cross the bridge from Novo instead of this side because it's closer to the zone instead of doing that all around. So definitely Dog Squad need to change their decision of keeping on to bridge camp, and I believe they are definitely need to be considering to move out. We see also Trinity Gaming around Gatka also late rotating. That zone is definitely going towards school and around that hill of that potato hill.
Yes,
but no one has claimed yet. I'm quite surprised to see no team. We see 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏 really close to that zone, and Trinity Team Thunders, it's being they drop into school and they are still into that location. They haven't decided to do any good rotation yet.
I wonder how our rage got to Rozhok, because they were looting into Geotown, and what rotation that they just conquer Rozhok and actually making a split onto Rozhok. So it's very impressive for them to getting deeply into the zone, because there's a vibe. Even Rogue Esports did not get this much information as our rage, but even Rogue Esports, they are sitting into a decent position into the zone, just waiting for the next zone, and if they need to move, they will move, and if they need to still hold this ground, they will try to hold it. Next to them, it's Reject X, and we still see the final boss, which they are rotating close, where X-Force Reject was rotating, already past the bridge of Yashnaya. Might take a fight against 10-11, which they are looting onto Yashnaya. No teams yet into the blue zone except RRQ just reach into, I think, what you just mentioned early on, that they passed to the bridge of Novo to be able to get into the zone.
But no team on that potato hill, Skydo.
Even Tampa, they're playing a bit around the surroundment where they just looted.
And it's quite in the middle. It has a higher chance for the next zone to be in that part, and holding that at that early stage at that second zone will definitely give them a advantage. But maybe we're seeing team trying to commit into early fight instead on claiming that best position into the zone.
You're right.
So they want to give us the action, and we are definitely going to be expecting that. We see Angry still into Pochinki, but Reject X quite taking some committing into some dangerous decision from them. They might get sandwiched between Rogue Esports and Angry X, which are into Pochinki, and Rogue Esports, which is in those compound next to school. So definitely something to be good. We are seeing that these teams are focusing on early looting, looking for this compound, looking for all of these utilities that will give them advantage.
They will need utilities, because I always saw in Sanhok that they needed the nades, the utilities, to be able to fight it better, because they're not trying to push exactly, trying to engage. Even when we saw the fight against Exusha and RRQ, they did not try to engage directly. Even they had shotgun, they tried to cook the nade first and throw it. So most of the player, they try to get maximum of utilities. I mean Molotov, smoke, grenades, and sometimes even stun grenade. That we don't see in Africa. Not many players actually use it, but into the biggest stage in global, we do see how they use the stun grenades very well.
Yep.
And Vibe also still holding a very good position into the zone, the squad house. And we saw, Mega, that our Rage, they looted Geogopal town, and they just rotated to Rozhok and going to school. So I don't know how they're being able to get every information, or they're trying to take a fight. That's why they
are looking. Looking. But I want to see where are the RRQ team. The last time we saw them, they were onto the military island, and we saw Dog Squad trying to breach camp that island next to Primorsk. But where are the RRQ team?
A map would be necessary for us to know this. Oh, they are outside the zone. We just arcs it and we get it.
They are outside of the zone. They are still around Novo.
So they already know that they got free kills, so they need to play it slow. They don't need to play it like, okay, we just need to keep rushing or keep getting inside the zone. Because I think it's the team that's going to play both the zone and it's not trying to get into the middle, because we can see that in the middle.
You mentioned utilities. We can already see a lot of utilities with them. I saw 6 nade with Foden, and the remaining player has around 5 to 4 frag grenades, which gonna be very useful for the end game if they manage to reach that zone, because that zone will keep on closing onto school around Pochinki school, and Rozok are into this third zone. But we do also see the Potato Island still unclaimed. Will Mercenary
I think there's going to be a fight there, Mega, onto the Potato, because when we see this zone, we see that Rage, Team Tenders, Rock Esports, and Reject, they're already into the compound. So if a team just crush them, they will take a fight. But onto the Potato Hill is just Ridge. So I think teams are going to fight, because we can see Temper and Dog Squad Esports is getting, and also X-Force Reject is trying to get into this position. So there might be a fight, and Mercenary also is not into the zone. He might be just waiting for the opportunity that there's gonna be a fight, and we're gonna third party this fight. And Temper, they just heard the bullet, and also the Temper has the overcraft near to them, and they're crushing the X-Force Reject. Already 2 knock. And X-Force Reject is trying to fall back. Mercenary also heard the bullet, but they're not trying to get into this fight. They're coming close. They're coming pretty close, but they did not hear any. They just heard bullets that's being fired to Reject, and they're trying to fall back. It was a very wrong situation for X-Force. They were just trying to crush the compound when Temper came the same time with them, but unfortunately Temper came first, and even they had the vehicles advantage, I'm gonna say, because the overcraft at the last zone is a very big advantage.
Team coming into the action as well. 10-11 approaching from the far east edge of the zone. It's gonna be very interesting how this, like you were right, Skydo, like this team will now be starting to fight for that Potato Hill. We already saw Tampa claiming it, getting 2 elimination points from the RJC squad. So it's with all this team for that third and fourth zone, we have 15 teams is gonna be fighting for that small zone.
Crazy.
Angry still into Pochinki, and I can definitely tell you that Trinity Gaming also is crossing that zone around Pochinki. But are they gonna get, or this team gonna have places for them to fight?
And we'll see on the screen that X-Force Reject, they lost 2 players, but I think they got separated. The duo remaining is Shiva and Nasya. They got separated, and Trinity Gaming, they just got into Pochinki, where Angry X-Smoke was looting, and they are holding the church for now. And Shiva is all alone. Close to him is Mercenary. They know that the location. If they know it's a solo, they need to try to push him, because Shiva is a very good player. He might be irritating if they let him alive and try to go into the zone, because we know that a solo, he's a very dangerous player.
Oh yeah, so something to...
Orange also lost a player. I don't know when did happen, because I know they were rotating together.
I think there was quite a few alteration around school. We saw we saw a few gunfights around there on the minimap, because this team as well are placing their best on school and apartment.
Nasir's not going to get revived and securing 1 kill for Rock Esports.
What's going on with RJC?
That's the thing, because the playstyle that we saw is always on aggressiveness, and those teams
not working here into the final.
Yes,
definitely not working. They need to be considering to change that
it's
strategy.
Your ridge, Mega. It's your ridge that you Ox onto the first game. It's RRQ fighting against Dog Squad, Mega. Is it because they already got 1 knock, 2 knock onto the Dog Squad, and still full team remaining for the RRQ. 1 lost player is Di Maria. I don't think he will be able to make it. He's trying to go downside, and 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘 is hurting the bullet. Paradox also coming from the behind. He will be able to spot 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘.
He's gonna spot this player. He's gonna be third parting. Will Paradox get a few knock? He has that opportunity, that right angle for it, but he didn't get that chance, and we can see now 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘. They need to fall back in this situation, but reversing, that could have been a nice play.
I thought he was gonna escape, Mega, but no. 𝗦𝗧𝗘 was already onto the high ridge that got the opening on him.
But 𝗦𝗧𝗘, they were trying to surround them, but unfortunately it didn't work.
We need a map to be able to know where the zone shifted, Mega. We need a map to know is the 𝗦𝗘𝗘𝗗𝗏, as you mentioned earlier on, is into the zone, because we can see that 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘, they were into the compound. They are coming very close in front of 𝗦𝗧𝗘. We just need a map to see where it's gonna happen. And 10-11, he's in a bit bad situation. His buggy got exploded, and the final boss
final boss are getting focused by Temper as well.
What a hardship just happened.
Look at this map. Look at this 𝗦𝗘𝗘𝗗𝗏 golden zone for them. 𝗦𝗧𝗘 trying to hide to take a fight again with 𝗦𝗧𝗘, but the numbers for 𝗦𝗧𝗘 are all definitely not there for them, so they are definitely, it's gonna be hard for them. But we still have one player from 𝗦𝗧𝗘 that can do something maybe, but 𝗦𝗧𝗘 still has a full squad. They have only 6-9, which is knocked right now.
What's a play coming from 𝗦𝗧𝗘?
They should get that revive, because all these teams are definitely gonna come towards them, because they are the one on this 𝗦𝗘𝗘𝗗𝗏 right now.
What's a play coming from 𝗦𝗧𝗘? Like they have already 10 elims, and they came lost because they were outside of the zone, as we saw, and they came lost. So it was a very good decision that they were not trying to come.
They came all the way from Novo outside of the zone, and I was not confident to see them get into that zone, but 10-11 finding that one player of 𝗦𝗧𝗘 and sending them back to the lobby. 12 remaining.
Stage
team.
5.
Stage 5
player.
𝗦𝗘𝗘𝗗𝗏 beating that golden zone. Everyone
this
will
final
try
is insane.
Everyone will try to get a hold on this island, and 𝗦𝗧𝗘, will we see an 𝗦𝗧𝗘 with over 20 elimination points? They can, if they manage to hold that. They do have the utility. Look at the numbers of frag grenades that 𝗦𝗧𝗘 do have. We briefly saw around 7 frag grenades with one of these players. So they do have the utilities. They have everything that they need to hold.
The only thing for 𝗦𝗧𝗘, they got a knock. Sniping. I did not expect.
M24 from Tampa Coco spot one of the player from something that maybe 𝗦𝗧𝗘 didn't consider. Maybe some sniper from long range that can really destabilize them if other teams try to push at the same time.
And also the position for 𝗦𝗧𝗘, he's a bit in the middle. And Temper also got into the scene of 𝗦𝗧𝗘.
Let's go there for this fight. Temper 𝗦𝗧𝗘 on that potato hill. It's going crazy out there on that kill feed.
And also the final boss is coming to the third party to be able. Oh my god, what a fight is going to happen. And still Temper with 2 players against 𝗦𝗧𝗘, 2 players, and final boss also come to third party. They have the advantage to be able to third party this fight. The zone has not yet closed, and there's 3 teams fighting now. Then also Trinity Gaming coming to the action. What is happening, Mega? We are seeing something that we did not expect from the semi-final into the finals. And Trinity Gaming is also trying to get the position into the zone, because the zone is going to close now. The stage 6 is about to start. 6 got 1 HP trying to get inside the zone.
And things are still heating up here on that potato island between a few remaining casualties on this zone, but 6 got really low towards Mercenary in front of them, but 𝗦𝗧𝗘 managed to get a hold on that one player. Team Thunders also on a rotation trying to look for somewhere to go, but in front of them there's Mercenary. He needs to decide which route he needs to take. He's going like blindly in front of 𝗦𝗏𝗏, and 𝗏𝗏𝗏 already heard that, and Jamboy trying to do a play with the DPS, a few shots trying to connect. Jamboy half HP managed to sent one of the player. But if you knocks, unfortunately, into the mercenary team this time, with your prison as well knock, I think there's only Glizzy left.
She needs to connect 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗓 for his team,
But
but
the
this game
kick
can
was
be crucial
stolen.
for mercenary. Also, he managed to put one knock. 6 team left, 80
Rocky
players.
Sport also around. Rocky Sport stolen that kill from that remaining player from Mercenary. Now Angry X come. They were like, okay, all this fight, all these kill things were definitely popping on their screen. So they definitely wanted to be part of this fight. They have only 2 elimination points, and this time they are getting it full HP, everything like. That's what is making some plays like both team coming in late, but during the cleanup and final boss are getting a little bit into trouble with the Ara, really low HP, managed to get a healing.
To the right. Yes, they do have the information that Trinity Gaming is in front of them, and they managed to put one knock. No, it's not going to connect, but a nade's coming onto them. Nil is just in front of them, proning, because the zone is about to close in 5 seconds. They're not also into the zone. They're just 100 meters very close to the zone. So Angry is holding a ground that they are putting pressure, that they know that Trinity Gaming must come to their way to be able to get inside the zone, and it's actually on point. But also 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏 is actually cooking a nade. The zone is about to close. Angry lost one player that needs to get the revive. It's a very fast zone that's closing. 15 seconds to be able to get onto stage 7. 6 teams still alive, 14 players.
Trinity Gaming running into that zone. There's only one team I can tell you, 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏, but it's into that zone, and it's Rocky Sport, and we definitely need to hold that ground. But Nova getting spotted by Trinity Gaming this time. Trinity Gaming are not letting everyone falling back easily, as well as Angry X Smoke. Things are starting heating up.
Yes.
Rocky Sport are now losing numbers to knock in their roster.
And we can see also that Trinity Gaming is playing like a different side. He got knocked from Rock Esports, and they are trying to fight even Angry. So they were a bit split. I think they had a full team alive. They all left with a Geo, and Angry also with a trio trying to push, trying to get further into the zone. But is it a very good decision? Because he doesn't know that there's another player from 𝗷𝗷𝗏𝗏𝗏, the only player alive, and he get knocked. So
from behind, I think
he got knocked from behind. 𝗷𝗷𝗏𝗏𝗏, yes, I think he got knocked from behind. It just happened to show on the screen. And Angry, just with 2 players, 7 elimination in front of him, he knows it's going to be difficult. But why they don't try to go into the right also? They're trying to go into the left, which Rock Esports is holding in front of them, that they need to get inside the zone. But he managed to get 2 knocks, nearly 2 knocks, sending all the players from Rock Esports back to the lobby. Is the time now to be able to make the push, because MLK, he needs to make the push. He has 2 nades in front of him. He needs to cook the nades to be able to throw. And Casino, he's pushing. Is the nade going to connect behind the rock? And it does not connect. He managed to get the revive. Another nade is coming. This nade is going to connect. Yes,
Two to secure. Maybe
Rock back to the lobby. There's only 3 teams left. 2 Geos and 1 solo from the final boss. So Mega, this match has been pretty insane for the Erangel. Even for Sanhok, we were not even that hype as we are now for the Erangel match. I don't think Anna is gonna spot Ara, the final boss.
Anna is very close to that safe zone, but he is. She is instead unfortunately into a low ground. So this player, when getting on the high ground, will most probably see her if they manage to get a hold. So we already see MLK4 indeed, as I was mentioning, unfortunately spotting Anais and
1v1 Mega.
1v1. That's why we were waiting for Damboy versus Kanzinho. Kanzinho been showing a nice fight, but it's Damboy, my boy from Thunders.
Wow.
Team Thunders, they were the only
He was
team.
bare low. Even Angry was bare low. He was 1 HP with the shotgun. So it was a massive fight coming from 1v1. But what a match, Mega. It was only the second game. There's 2 matches left. And the second game was like this.
Oh my god, but Team Thunders, they were getting pressure from a lot of teams. The final boss was putting a pressure on their left, and there was that aggressive team coming late, the Angry X team. They came late into that party, but they were putting a lot of pressure with a lot of team. We saw Angry X even if they came late with only 2 elimination points, I believe they were sent back to the lobby with a lot of
with 2-digit numbers. I don't remember how many kills they had, but with 2-digit number for sure. I think there was a lot of teams. I think there was 5 teams that had 2-digit number. Even RRQ. The problem that happened with RRQ when he got fight with Temper onto the Potato Hill, he was in the middle of the zone. So every team was coming into different directions. So he needed to fall back from this middle of the zone and trying to go into different direction. So when he stayed into this exact position, that's how different team was trying to come into the same way where they were holding, because it was a difficult decision also to take, because they were also trying to revive the teammates that just got knocked. So when the zone closed, they were still into the middle onto the zone, and when it closed again, they were onto the border of the Potato Hill. And even this fight, as we mentioned, Mega 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗗𝗏, it was not necessary for them to be able to take this fight from RRQ, because also we can mention that this fight boosted the adrenaline for RRQ to take a fight like this, because they know that, okay, we have 3 kills onto the early games, we need to continue this step like this, so we need to continue to make to get those points. And even they went to loot Novo, they tried to get the overcraft to lose this fight against Dog Squad. That was the first fight that happened onto the Potato Hill, and even both squad, they were pretty close to the bridge that they passed. They both had overcraft, but RRQ, they've been putting the fight together. It was only the lone survivor for 𝗦𝗧𝗏 was not able. Even X-Force Reject X was trying to get into this fight, but was not able, and Paradox getting knocked from his I don't know what he was trying to do to be able to get away from this fight, but
it was like he wanted to W into the fight, but he had to reverse back. He saw that he was spotted. He wanted to backstab.
Yes,
but
it was a good decision.
Reject X was not expecting that fight to be over that soon.
That's
they
true.
wanted
That's
to
true.
third party, but as soon as part of the game, they all were prepared to fight him, and unfortunately, but Reject X, even if they lost Paradox, we saw them trying again to go back into that Potato Hill, and they managed to get inside. This is where things started to heat up when we saw all these team Temper coming to that Potato Hill. We see this fight which was early on before that fight of that Potato Hill fight, where we saw Temper pushing down a lot of players from the RJC team. So RJC as well,
2 games.
They were not really performing for these 2 games, unfortunately, hoping that they come back on the remaining game. And if you clean up, we saw 10-11 performing quite well for this team. They definitely still got penalized for rotating late,
so
claiming
that's what I was
the
explaining, Mega. As you can see on the minimap, it came onto the border. So when Dog Squad and RRQ was fighting, it was into the middle of the zone, but RRQ still stayed in the exact position. So they were trying to hold its border zone, but there's a lot of team that's gonna come because it's the border of the zone. So that's how they got many team concentrating onto them, and even the Temper was trying to join, but Final Boss and Trinity Gaming was onto the right. And also when Team Angry heard the good bullet, they come a bit close to the left of Trinity Gaming. But it was a bit fortunate for Temper and even RRQ. But Mercenary also, they tried to rotate into very good position when they were doing the rotation, because they were very close to School, to Team Thunders, but they managed to get inside the zone onto the Potato Hill.
Team Thunders came in late. They were playing as a trio, and they came in late into this fight. They were not really present during that Potato Hill massacre. So I believe they did rotate at the edge of the border and managed to get a hold into that lost play zone. The job were being done by the Angry X Smoke team. They were the ones smoking one by one Rogue eSports, which was very well settled into that zone. And we can see this end game, this 1v1 situation between 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and of course 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 was putting a lot of pressure, but the S12K could not do,
and even
do that job.
If we see the health of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 was pretty killed than 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦. But it was a very well played shotgun that we saw. 6 kill elimination, winner, chicken dinner, 16 points accumulated, and we did not have the chance to see the stats of Sanhok. But a very well played performance, even playing with 3 players for this match. They managed to get the chicken dinner.
Like I was saying, like the position where 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗏 was, especially, she definitely would have been get spotted, but maybe she was acting as a bait. She was the one to be giving that information to 𝗦𝗏𝗧𝗏. Okay, we'll go flank to the left, and you're gonna be fighting on the same ground, on the same level, which gonna give them the same advantage. And 𝗦𝗏𝗧𝗏, he managed to do that finish and confirming a chicken dinner for Team Thunders.
Yes, head-to-head, 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 and 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏, your player, Mega, and he managed to get 5 elimination kill for 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 and 4 elimination kill for 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏. A bit of difference damage, I would say mostly 200 damage, and most knockout was being done by 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏. 3 knockouts. Head-to-head, it was a pretty interesting match. I was not expecting this match to be this hype for the second match of Erangel. So I wonder how the third match is gonna be for this Erangel, because if this match is like this, and even Mega, you know what will be most interesting? If the zone close next to the bridge, how they're gonna try to cross this bridge? Top 4 players is Angry MLK4, 𝗦𝗘𝗠𝗜 69, and 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏. Our final boss also made it to the top 4 players, and we can see that MLK that had 880 damage, 5 knockout, 4 elimination. Well played for all 4 players coming for the second match of the finals, the day 1 for the finals, and it's still going to continue for the third match. It's going to be Erangel. Longest kill is 348 meters, and the damage was also very good. But I remember on to the semi-final, we saw more damage. I think it was 13,000. But
yeah,
this much healing, I don't think I saw. If I try to remember kindly well, I don't think. But 2 airdrop has been looted, 49 knockouts. Okay, and there was 59 players and 49 knockouts. So there was most of players that died into the zone, because I think there's 54 elimination too. So it's a bit difficult to understand those stats right now. But as we mentioned, it was a very interesting Erangel match for the second match, and we are hoping that we're gonna be entertained like this for the third match too. But what a game it had! It was big.
We do have 4 Erangel for this final, so definitely that first Erangel was already crazy. But look at these numbers, kind of road esports and even Angry 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, like I mentioned, they came in late, but they really smashed. They came to put an end into that crazy party that was going on into the Pubg Island.
Yeah, it was a good timing that they came onto the region where
they saw all these players trying to run away from the Potato Hill, because Potato Hill was starting to get outside of the zone. So they managed to get a hold on this remaining duo, on this remaining solo was trying to run away.
And even our Rage Mega, if we see well, they got on 4 points. So they were the team that got chicken dinner onto the Sanhok, and this time is different. So this point, Mega, even Angry 𝗦𝗦𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏, Rex, Regnum, Quick, those points are going to be pretty close with each other, because the teams, they're putting the effort that they need to be able to qualify it. So if one team manage not putting the effort onto the map, it's going to be costly for them. Because Team Tenders also winner chicken dinner, 16 points. There's 4 teams that have 2-digit, nearly Rogue Esports getting 2-digit, 4 teams. So wow, what's a play coming from them? Because the second page, as we're seeing, even Temper, 10-11, and the other teams also need to put the effort onto the next game, because for tomorrow you need to review the live for today, what kind of expectation that you were not expecting happen onto this game, and prepare yourself better for tomorrow, because a comeback, we always believe in it.
Like a good friend once said to me, a comeback, it's always a setback. So 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, this time we unfortunately I was expecting more from them. They were indeed into a very good position for them. There was no team behind them to try. They were all the way at the other side from Angry 𝗦𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So these 2 teams were being the one controlling this little play zone what was remaining. But Mercenary, I believe, they found themselves into some communication issue. We saw them trying to fight the Trinity Gaming, the Team Thunders instead team, but they started to lose a lot of numbers from the play zone as well, and they started getting a lot of focus. They were way too, maybe it was of the cover, the lack of cover. There was only 3 into that few final games, so they all decided to hide behind one.
Yes.
I don't believe that was a right decision. Maybe they didn't had a vehicle as well to act as a group cover, but if they were together, I'm totally sure it was gonna be a final game, a final fight between Mercenary and Angry X Smoke. But it was indeed Team Thunders, along with a nice trio play from Demboy and of course a nice, I believe the only girl into this lobby, into this final. And we see a lot here in Mauritius, so don't be surprised if you're watching this from different country. We do see a lot of girls going to finals.
The support is the same as the boy playing, because
they are very good.
Respect the girls more putting the effort and actually playing into the final, because there's only girls playing for his team and getting the chicken dinner, even playing with a trio. So we are, I think Ojan also will be surprised of girl putting the effort. But put a like for her and put some comments. We're also seeing your commentary. Thankfully, you saw the leaderboard for this time. But for this match of Erangel, second match, it was only 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘 and 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗘𝗗 that took an early fight onto this map, and there was not many teams that took an early fight. When doing the rotation, yes, there was some team, but they kept every power for the end. That's why we saw that many nades getting thrown, and it was a team that started the fight, because you mentioned the potato hill. Who's gonna take it? Who's gonna fight it? And the zone just shifted there and say, okay, Mega, you know what? You wanted some fight. I'm gonna shift there, and you're gonna see the fight.
But I was very surprised to see the farthest team to be the first one to settle foot on that potato hill. RRQ, all the way from Novo. They were the one. I don't know which route they take, because even on the eastern side, we saw teams like, I'm talking about 10-11, the final boss. They were fighting on that eastern edge part, and and I'm not sure what route did RRQ made, because they all of them came straight away. Once we saw RRQ, they were on that hill taking the fight.
Yes, I thought
already
Team Temper would be more close to take this potato hill, but they took those compound first. That's when we saw X-Force Reject also doing the rotation and getting engaged with each other. So I thought it was Temper was gonna claim this spot first, but it was not. Temper was trying to play border, because they knows if they try to go further into the zone, and a team might come, so he might be surrounded with 2 different teams onto the left angle, right angle, into different situations, because that's what we saw onto the potato hill that happened. The first fight started against Dog Squad and RRQ. It was good, but the other fight that happened, there was many teams was coming into different direction, and just, okay, there's a knock here, I'm just gonna collect that kill and I'm gone. I'm not trying to join in. I'm not trying to lose any more players, because I'm trying to get till the end of the zone and get the chicken dinner.
All right. So you might have noticed only 15 teams that we saw into the first game and the second game. You might be wondering, why not 60 teams? One of them got disqualified, unfortunately. It was the team TK. So more info, of course, after the stream. We are not gonna be talking about these bad boys. So the first game won by our Age Astra Nova, the Madagascar team. The second game won by the Mauritian team, Team Thunders. And now we are going into the third game, and another Erangel this time. I'm very hyped to see where this zone gonna be closing in, because we saw on that first Erangel map, these fights are starting to popping up on the 4th and the 5th stage. We saw a 4th and 5th stage starting with 15 to 14 teams trying to get a hold into and that's where the fights were starting to get crazy, and I believe it's gonna keep on getting even crazier. This PUBG Mobile Aim Africa brought to you, of course, by eSportsfaction. Thank you once again for being with us, and I hope you are enjoying this show as well as us. But we can see a glimpse that maybe was something that we were all hoping to see. So a glimpse of on the left side, that overall ranking. We can definitely see our age, I believe, with that first game and that second game with quite a few elimination points, keeping them at the first place. But 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏,
Yes.
as well with the elimination points, I believe, because the first game 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏 got only 4 elimination points, but the second game they got 10, and these numbers are quite high. And the first game, the RH got 13 elimination points. So that elimination points come along with the placement point are for sure giving them the numbers.
There is RH going to 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏, but something interesting that Angry did not drop a Pubg, and they are doing the same drop rotation as Tempo. I was mentioning this at the start of the stream, but this is actually happening, that Angry might take a fight against Tempo into the early zone. And we also see Reject did not go to Primos. He's going to...
Everyone is deciding to changing their strategy. I see Final Boss still into their Zalki drop location. 10-11 as well, making their way into Yashnaya, and RJC as well into 70. But a lot of change, like you mentioned, 𝗦𝗏𝗏, a lot of change into this other team. And hopefully we see something different, and especially for 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 as well. They are into that military island. They might face again the only... there's only 2 teams into the military islands. It's RRQ and 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟. So they maybe can once again take a fight, but I'm hoping that 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟 this time they think before they act, like they intercept the fight. But Temper right now getting into some heating versus 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏, the first one to get a knock. So definitely starting very bad. Both of them are trading training points right now, so they are quite spread between each other. So a fight that has been going on just south of Farmer. We see one of the players of Temper trying to rotate along, but he is unfortunately going in between those 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏 team. And we see Coco as well going straight away into 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏, but along with his teammate Captain and Coco, they're all trying to do a play out of this game. But this time it was definitely they decided to play safe. They said, okay, we are crashing into each other at this early start of this game, but let's not lose these numbers. Let's not lose a lot of teammates. They both have lost one of their teammates, but hopefully it was only that, not getting sent back to the lobby after that good, that amazing form of elimination point that 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏 managed to get, and also Temper working their way to get into a better positioning into that leader award. It was a wise decision for them to not engage some crazy fight at this earlier stage of this third game.
Yes, but the thing is, Mega, Team Angry, they looted peacefully in Pubg, but they just think they're gonna drop at a farm that they know that Tempo loots there, and sometimes they have a crush. They need to engage into the fight, and that's what just happened. One just lost a player. Both teams lost one player and say, okay, thank you for 1 point, we are gone, and they need to still play with a trio. So I don't understand quite well the decision of Team Angry dropping safely in Pubg the second game, Erangel. In the third game, they decide, okay, let's try something different, and if we can kill Tempo and get a 4 kill, we'll try. But no, Tempo is a very good team. They play very smart, as we've been seeing into the semi-final. But
they've been very rival. They are from the group A. We saw them fighting for chicken dinner. We saw, we definitely saw them trying to get. No, my bad. It was 𝗦𝗧𝗏 from the group A, and of course Angry from the group B. But both of them are really trying to mark their names, and we definitely want to see more from this. But it was quite the heat was on at the start of the game, but hopefully every team has all quite settled, and we're gonna see in a few moments, of course, the map rotation for this team. But what I can say is that 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏 already left the military island. A early rotation for them, but this time, luckily, Dog Squad decided not to breach camp that zone. So hopefully 𝗦𝗧𝗏 can possibly backstab Darksoul if they want to. Darksoul are going straight away into the direction of Pochinki, as well as 𝗦𝗏 rotating around this location. So all these teams are quite far away from each other. We can say we won't be seeing a lot of teams, and there's a lot of teams on the western part.
Might be a fight 𝗦𝗏 against Dog Squad.
Yep.
Now we are seeing the fight. It might be 𝗦𝗏 is just rotating nearby and not coming onto the reach of Pochinki.
Very big rotation for 𝗦𝗏. We should.
Ooh, Coco's vehicle just turned around and he just lost control of his vehicle. But will it be safe? His vehicle's already smoking, but he stopped near the vehicle respawn, trying to get another vehicle to be able to get out. But his teammates already did the rotation, and only Dog Squad, I think, don't tell me, he's trying to push onto Coco, but Coco is already rotating, going onto the.
He did not take one of his teammates. Like the person. Okay, Coco decided to fall back. Like he definitely anticipated that they saw him alone. So
Yes.
most probably like they should
And
be
even the
pushing him.
direction they're going, Mega, you were mentioning that 𝗦𝗦𝗏 was close to the bridge, so they might be going near to the team 𝗦𝗦𝗏, team 𝗦𝗏, but Dog Squad still decide to hold the mountain of Pochinki.
Let's see Coco, please. Give us an eye on what's going on into Coco, because Coco is from 𝗦𝗏 he's running away from Dog Squad, but going straight into 𝗦𝗏𝗏, which is holding that breach, and 𝗦𝗦𝗏 are quite in the middle of the breach.
Oh, I saw Coco got knocked
From
a player.
Darksoul, they managed to catch him.
happened?
They managed to catch him. I believe that car, which was already damaged, and I believe it's going to be
Yes.
maybe some crash and so on. That's why we wanted to.
But if his
Unfortunately,
teammate already knew that he would be having difficulty to get to them, they should have tried to come into this ridge and trying to have take him to be able to go with him, because his vehicle we saw was smoking, and Dog Squad was not gonna give up this kill and actually go to push Coco.
But funny thing is that the remaining player of 𝗦𝗏 was like, Coco, you are into trouble. Like try to get back to us if you can. But unfortunately, he was left behind. His teammate unfortunately couldn't help him. But RJC this time they spot Ara from final boss, and we already see River looking around for the remaining player. He might have spotted Pyro and might have got Sound Q as well. River switching seat, trying to get a nice spray on Pyro, but Pyro popping that boost, going straight away. But a chase maybe between these two teams. We know X-Force, they like to chase team. They like to commit into this chase, but on a kill feed, we see 𝗦𝗦𝗏𝗏 finally doing some plays, knock one of the player of Dog Squad, a nade from Levy, unfortunately couldn't connect on Yakuza. So 𝗦𝗦𝗏𝗏, but there's only Yakuza here into that 𝗦𝗦𝗏𝗏 team. It's a 1v1 that we are witnessing, but Dog Squad, the numbers are coming, and maybe Karab can give a help on onto these fights, but 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 as well. But coming in late, what is Shankar not to knock from Karab with this shotgun and even confirming the elimination points. 3 elimination points for them. The turnaround that we are witnessing from Dog Squad. 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦 once again weird like anticipation. They had a player already spotted one of the player, but the backup is not here for them. They
Yes.
take way too much time to get this backup, this support.
They managed
And
to
they were
one knock.
closed.
They were close, yes. They were indeed close with each other, but the timing is not good for this team. They are not communicating about the synergy. They managed to put one knock onto Dog Squad, but they will get revived. And the thing is, Dog Squad was trying to block the bridge the last game, and they returned back because of Coco. Because in this direction, I don't think they would be returning back. The situation happened because Coco was passing by and they tried to get this kill. And that's how they got engaged with 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦. And unfortunately, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦, they were not holding it properly against each other. Now we can turn to the surround men. 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗦 and 10-11 is passing very close by with each other. And 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗦 is just trying to get information onto the surround men and how many teams there is will also be able to take the fight. And I think they're reading the kill feed. There's also 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗦𝗃 on to the surrounding, confirming 1 kill onto 10-11. And 10-11, they are in a pretty bad situation because we can see that 𝗦𝗧𝗃 has a very good position onto them. And even there's a second knock onto 10-11. Only Gio is alive. I don't think he would be able to get a revive, and he get finished by Paradox, confirming 2 teams for 𝗦𝗃𝗃. And they are trying to rotate back onto the compound. Even that 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗦 also heard the bullets, but they're not trying to engage yet. It's not the time because there's not many knock that we will be able to take the fight, except that 10-11 was getting killed from long range shot. And well played from 𝗦𝗃𝗃, trying to hold the potato hill.
Finally, some action I was expecting from 𝗦𝗃𝗃. If you ask me before the live stream which team I was hoping to give a very good performance tonight, I was like 𝗦𝗃𝗃 was one of the team that I was expecting more. But the first game was definitely, the first and the second game were definitely not very good for them.
As I'm seeing on the map, Mega, like they are they are surrounding the 10-11. There's a 𝗦𝗃𝗃 behind them, and there's 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗦 in front of them. So it's going to be difficult for them to be able to get out of this compound to go further into the zone. And we see now Vibe and I think it's a team Mercenary Union holding onto Pubg. Vibe's a nice well split has been done onto the church of Pubg. Nice head connected from frags, and they know that there's one full squad onto holding the squad house, but they won't try to push. They will just try to fire some shot and getting some bullet spread to them. But no big fight yet has started. Still stage 2, closing to stage 3, where on stage 3 we were going to see more fights going to happen. And even now we see 𝗦𝗃𝗃 just passing very close to 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗃. 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗃, they came to contest this high ground earlier, if you remember. And if 𝗦𝗃𝗃 lost onto the scene where Paradox was trying to get the vehicles from behind, but now they decide they need to hold this high ground first.
Yeah, and something is telling me that they are, they know they are late on this elimination points. They want team to come on them. They heard the RRJ team like coming in just
you're
around.
right. I think they're trying to engage into some fight to be able to get some more kills, because
They don't want to hold. It's a team that we saw into the semifinal that doesn't play for the placement point. They like to get into fights. Third party is their signature move, but this time teams are not they are in a very good position to hold, but teams are not approaching them, and they want this team to try to fight them because they need that elimination points. They are very late on that scoreboard to the right. You can see they are at the 14th position.
Oh, yes.
So definitely very late into that finals party. but I'm hoping for them. And as we are talking for them, they are engaging at 10-11. We can see getting 1 elimination points from them. So they are definitely looking for this fight, and they are finding it. Ira with the nade being thrown on the second floor, but did not really connect just a little bit. So he's commenting on Anos getting knocked by Bigoa, but
he was going straight for the
unfortunately-
finish.
Yeah.
He was trying to finish Anos and say, okay, let me get 1 kill and get out of here. Because
Yeah.
those squad, 10-11 also, Mega, like...
10-11 looks very different from the
Making
10-11 we saw during the Group C.
Yeah, you're
It's a
right.
10-11 than won a chicken dinner in
find
G.
another...
Oh,
This fight
oh.
happened into the previous game
Oh,
where
yeah, yeah.
RRQ was fighting
Same.
Dog Squad. But
Same.
the only thing that's changed, a different ridge. They're fighting...
Different reach, 2 hovercraft, same similar fight. Both teams hesitating to fight with, each other. And Mori getting into the backstab, and it might be working for Mori. Mori is touching some bullet, but Levy was the one to put the knock on Mori this time. So
Dog Squad say no,
Dog Squad
it's
this
not
time,
gonna
no.
happen. The same thing that happened the previous game, but there's 1 knock onto RRQ and Babula, I don't know, sorry.
Babuda, you want that fight?
He's very low on HP, and oh, they saw him getting sit down into the vehicles, and there's only 6-9 remaining. And also, we can see on the map another team, I think it's Rock Esports, trying to get into this fight, but 6-9 trying to fall back.
RRQ's like,
And
I'm out.
And the last match of Erangel, we saw a fight against those team, but RRQ destroyed Dog Squad. But this time, Dog Squad was ready. They did not. Did they lose any player? Yes, they do. They did lost 2 players from this fight. From
Fortunately.
yes,
Yeah.
from RRQ. But RRQ, I can't see that they have any kills. So
Maybe we already. I know previously they were fighting with a different squad.
So
we saw them
something might
fighting
happen that
Exusia.
Rock. Yes, Exusia, but Exusia, they lost 1 player from Exusia. You're right. Thank you.
They might have lost a player and rotating to that zone as well. They might have lost a second one. We saw Rocky Sport. The Browns already have 1 elimination point, so maybe from them. So Rocky Sport, we can see them on the screen. They were playing very well into the first 2 games. Maybe we're gonna see some things crazy that they are gonna be popping. They are quite in the middle of the team, but along we can see Tampa as well,
But
Mercenary. They are all into that middle of that zone. But also, if you can see from the X4 team, the RJC, Nasir, like checking the borders if there are any players playing into the borders, which is not the case. We saw that during the semi-final. We saw a team like DK, even Tampa, doing that, like putting one of the player. And he's also going all the way to the north, checking if there are any team. But unfortunately, this team for that final, they are into that zone. They are looking for fights. So Nasser, you need to come back into this fight, because this time you are very far away. We can see RJC far, like very. It's gonna be difficult for them to pass through Tampa to get into that final zone. But Pochinki, it's gonna be very interesting this time. Is Pochinki gonna be a golden zone, and of course maybe we're gonna see the church being the golden zone to contest.
I hope so, because this the church of Pochinki do have some ridge that they can play, and every time Vibes is always onto the zone.
They are here like that,
chilling.
That zone
But
likes to be on
this
that.
split mega might be harmful for them, because if a team try to push a whole squad, try to crush onto a place, and Vibe are not together, it's going to be difficult for them to cover. So they need to make a decision and try to come closer as a teammate, because Reject also onto Pochinki, and we can see a fight now. RR Rage are fighting against Dog Squad, and only 1 player was left onto the Dog Squad, and 5 elimination that they got sent back to the lobby. RR Rage managed to get 2 kills. 1 player got left. Got sent back to the lobby, and they are the only team holding this ridge, and they'll need to try to still get this ridge onto the position, because I don't think there will be any team will come from behind of 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗦. And also, I just for X-Force reject, it might be a very, very challenging how to get into the zone. But talking onto the scene, we can see Reject also taking the fight. Now we see Team Tenders fighting Reject X.
They are in a very good position to hold. We do have a vehicle as well. They are into that zone as well, and but that zone, if it keeps on closing on Pubg, it's definitely gonna be a very advantage for them. But Reject X, they are around, but this time we are seeing 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘 getting into a little bit of trouble this time, because the Angry X Smoke are like usual the latecomers into the party. But late or not, they do bring the numbers when they come late into this kind of party. And 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗗𝗏 trying to throw some nades onto that knock player from Angry X, but it was way too close, and Angry X are starting to flank their way into the direction of 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘. They need to be cautious. They switch with that nade straight into the direction of Nova and got that knock as well. So 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘, they need to fight back into that situation, because this time Nova is down, and it's a 3v3 situation. Angry has already lost one of the players, so if they can hold a maximum, but 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘 this time very low into that action, and he needs to be considering what he's gonna do. Where is the cover? But Angry managed to get that 6-9, managed to see a little bit of 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘 and got a knock. So 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘, they definitely want to fight. What a nice knock from Thunder, but unfortunately he get a knock this time. And this fight is starting to popping up like crazy. Angry, it's a 1v1 situation, so both of them
is coming into the party, for the third party, and
once again it's gonna be RR Rage. We definitely are seeing a lot of numbers, a lot of opportunity to seize, and it's coming from the backside of 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘. So 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘 need to be considering to change their position, and they are keep on doing it. They are getting those knocks that they are waiting for, but RRH, like we were mentioning, lazy are spotting those sadly these 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘 player, and unfortunately 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘, they had to deal with a difficult situation right now to keep on applying pressure on Angry or to defend that push from RRH, which are definitely a full squad right now. But RRH, they are committing into these to keep on taking this fight outside of the zone instead of getting into the action. And I'm talking about Pubg, which is starting to heating up. There's a lot of fight, of course, and 6-9 trying his best, but 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘𝗏, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘𝗏, they are the one who finally, even with the pressure of our age, they managed to win that fight against Angry X.
Because they were in a position of sandwich, because 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘 was in front of them, and behind them was Team Angry. Now the fight is not stopping. Is X-Force against Mercenary Union, which they are currently full squad. Nearly got knocked. Two players got naded that got very low, and they're still pushing X-Force Reject, trying to put the knock. What a nade was thrown from the player of Mercenary, sending the X-Force player back to the lobby, baby. Wow. Only one knock, still have the overcraft left. They are close to the zone, but still, Pubg. I don't think the church, as we mentioned earlier, Omega, is not going to be onto the last zone for the third. It's going to be on Pubg. RRH trying to get inside the compound. It's going to be very difficult for them, and they lost the vehicles. I don't know how they will try to get onto the next zone, because now thankfully they are all into the zone. Vibe eSports holding.
They are making their way. Yep. Little by little. I believe they are only a trio, but still they are looking for that edge of that zone, and I believe that squad house is into the zone if they can get close, if they can manage to get a hold on it, or they need to go more into towers or Trinity Gaming. Trinity Gaming are the one which are definitely into that very good position. An opportunity for them to spot Mercenary, but peeking too much. 𝗦𝗧𝗏 this time getting knocked from prison, and 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏 and a lot of other team will start to seize the occasion. But Vibes, Frags taking that opportunity, taking a very, very big risk to commit into that compound I was talking about. He wanted to cover that, but I believe these nades will cause a lot of trouble. But 𝗦𝗧𝗏 on the other side getting into a lot of trouble. They were trying to get to do the push on Trinity Gaming, and we even see some molly being penalizing both Trinity Gaming. We saw a lot of player getting knocked as well, and 𝗦𝗧𝗏 still has a duo right now, claiming that building that Trinity Gaming was holding. And we see that one player of Frags still into that game. Vibes has only Frags alive, but unfortunately Zedri, Zeus and Frags getting a nade into his face. So Vibes eSports, unfortunately this time we won't see them into that top 6, and things are starting to heat up. But our Rage, they decided to play for that zone. They committed into that open field because that zone is closing into that open field. There's only a shack to act as a cover, but a lot of opportunity for this team to get into this fight. We also have one player from RRQ and a full roster from Reject X. They've been putting up pressures in the start, and it's an opportunity for them to get that chicken dinner for them. But they are getting focused from here and there, and we are seeing players from RRG as well getting knocked, and Reject X has unfortunately Paradox getting a knock, but the distance are quite far between 𝗦𝗧𝗏, so opportunity for Reject X to do to commit into the round, but no, they could not. They lost 2 players. Things are starting to get very interesting for. I believe he's gonna get a revive. There's 2 players from RRG, 2 from 𝗦𝗧𝗏, and a full squad from Reject X. Reject X has everything, has that chicken into their hands if they manage to do a play for that. But a player to consider, 𝗦𝗐𝗐, someone to be considering for the fight. But this time Reject X getting a little bit into trouble. Rushcut unfortunately getting a knock, and that zone is starting to close in, and 𝗦𝗏 is going to be the 8th zone. That's a lot of damage, but they are committing into that revive. They want that numbers, they want that full team into this end zone, and this time RRG are putting more pressure into 𝗦𝗧𝗏, giving Reject X more time for the revive. RRG, they are definitely spread. So 4v2 situation, back to lobby for 𝗦𝗧𝗏 team.
Pubg's cooking the nade to be able to send on Paradox, and this fight scene is gonna be epic because RRH just a duo against a full squad of Reject X.
Reject X knows where are the 2 remaining team, and one of them getting knocked. Unfortunately, Pubg getting knocked, so it's a different game. But 𝗦𝗐𝗏, I mean, like I said, it's a player to be considered, but he's half HP versus a trio from Reject X. But the nade did connect. Can he do the play? He's way too low. Ara trying for a jump shot, but it's a confirmed chicken dinner for Reject X. Finally, Reject X bouncing back for this 3rd game of tonight. We saw them not really present for the 1st and the 2nd game. They were indeed very unlucky.
You were saying
in this
they were
first
14
game.
onto the leaderboard, and now they got chicken dinner with still 2-digit number. We're not sure yet how much they got killed, but that's gonna lead them into, I think, the top 5, because there are other teams also. This lobby is very, very difficult because everything is different teams are getting the consistency, the killing point.
The strategy as well is being switched by many teams. They are changing their rotation. Some of them are even changing their drop location. They are definitely bringing a lot of surprise into that final lobby. That's what we wanted to see.
Yes.
And I believe we didn't expect that to see that much of action and that much of different team. Like after that performance that I'm talking about X4 Reject did during that semi-final, they were indeed maybe a favorite team to be considering, but it's not fair. They are they are present, but not that much that we were expecting.
Yes, you're right.
Proving that this final lobby are full of very good African teams.
Yes, it's indeed a very good African team performing. Even PMC and PMMA that we are seeing, and the thing, the fight that started onto Pochinki when we saw Trinity Gaming, they got crushed by two different squads. It was Vibe, and also they got crushed by Mercenary Union, and they were different. They were very split, and it was very difficult for them to come back with each other. But they could not take the fight together. So it was a very bad situation for them. And this fight against RRQ and Dog Squad, it was a scene for that we saw.
Crazy to see that it was, yeah.
But it was very nice that Dog Squad actually took their revenge from the last match and sending 3 players from RRQ back to lobby. Only 1 player was remaining for RRQ. So no, I don't think there was actually no point accumulated for RRQ onto this game, but still they were onto the top 5 teams onto the leaderboard. So this leaderboard it's very hard for you to be able to still stay top 1, as many teams are performing or giving the best each match. And the last match for tonight is going to be Miramar. So we will know how the Miramar is going to be, because I love Miramar. I love the ridge. I love the sniping. I love the sniping rifle from the long range. You will be able to take the fight. The long ridge, the long mountain you will be able to take. I'm just waiting for the Miramar to start, because those 2 matches of Erangel was insane and wow,
and
was well played.
This team, they definitely gonna look for a Miramar game, but this fight that I wanted to see tonight, we saw Rock eSports getting into a big fight with Angry X, which were very late into action as usual, but Rock eSports were fighting back. We saw a lot of trade between each other, and then we saw RRG instead getting behind them. So I was starting to lose hope into Rock eSports this time. Like we can see RRG was approaching, and it was definitely it was already done for
because they
Rock
were
eSports.
in a situation of sandwich.
Yeah, they were definitely gonna get sandwiched, but out of nowhere they managed to keep on doing what they were trying to do. So eliminate this Angry X smoke and get into the zone. Like this was the time where the first player from Rock eSports got a knock, but the revive was there. Thunder was there along with Debron X that did the job. They managed to wipe the Angry X smoke, but that's what they wanted to do. They wanted that point.
Yes.
They wanted that fight. They wanted to win that fight. Unfortunately, the third party was there. They tried to get into the safe zone, but unfortunately RRG, which was this time checking the borders, we saw a team doing that. At one time during the map phase, we saw RJC looking for players onto the northern part on the edge of the zone, but they couldn't find this team. They were looking for one player, so definitely it's not a very good strategy that RJC are doing.
Yes, and Dog Squad got eliminated by Rage.
They were at this time they were getting pressure about one player remaining from Rock eSports, and things started to get crazy around Church. We already saw there was a final boss holding that position, but a lot of team started to look for that zone, and RJC this time I believe we're gonna be catching up. They definitely got they were playing. Sometimes it's very safe to split, but I believe not that much. It's not working for them. This split is definitely not working for them. It's the third game, but they are not being able to do their usual strategy.
I think it was only this match that they did perform better than the previous match. But 𝗚𝗦𝗦𝗓𝗔, they have the consistency. Even they did not have a lot of kill, but I think they left second place with 5 elimination points, which they were first place onto the leaderboard. So that consistency is going to help them to actually push further into the leaderboard of the PMAA and still have the last match to be played. And they did not give Reject the last kill, which was pretty good because he was trying to do everything on his own where he was putting the pressure onto Reject. But Reject, with 4 men standing onto the last zone, managing to get 8 kills together for this team, and they were like 14 onto the leaderboard. So that's going to raise them with the chicken dinner and with 8 elimination points together, getting 18 points together. But is it going to be enough to be able to get onto the top 5? As we can see, 𝗚𝗦𝗦𝗓𝗔, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘, Mega, your favorite player.
My man,
yes,
my man. I was hoping that he managed to clutch, but it's going to be very difficult to clutch against and Reject X full team. And I appreciated how Reject X stayed, like they didn't commit. They revived, they committed into the revive. They wanted to stay as a full squad versus 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 with 834 damage. You should be a full squad to take this man down.
Yes, 4 elimination, 5 knockout, and even like 𝗚𝗦𝗦𝗓𝗔 situation was trying to get into this. It was in open, and there was many teams in Pubg that was trying to get further where Reject was actually holding. But 𝗚𝗦𝗦𝗓𝗔 was only into the open, and only 1 vehicle was already exposed as a cover to be able to fight Reject X. Now we're gonna see head-to-head 𝗚𝗦𝗦𝗓𝗔 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 against Mercenary Union, and for the same kind of kill but more damage coming from 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, 2 assists from Mercenary Union, and damage taken was more from the other players, but 6 knockout coming from 𝗚𝗦𝗦𝗓𝗔 player, and 6 knockout, and 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 coming 5 knockouts. But it was very well played, where they managed to get some elimination even from X-Force Reject and sending the dog squad back to the lobby. Top 4 players, 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, Paradox getting 2 elimination, 2 knockouts. But with this damage, of course, is going to make it to the top 4 players. And we already mentioned the 3rd player, but we're going to see a player from Dog Squad managing to get 5 knockout and 4 elimination, 631
That's
damage.
surprising. I
Yes.
believe it was 3 points that he managed to get from the 𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏
fight, yep.
all the way from the start. He came as a support from his teammate, but he was the one to do the cleanup to secure these elimination points. But a very nice play from Karab, from the Somalia Dog Squad team. But we need to keep an eye on Ali QZ as well.
Wow.
Player from Mercenary Union, that Kenya team, playing also very well, but definitely can do something out of it. Look at
Indeed.
that major.
Yes, the
Healing
damage
as well.
nearly 14,000, and the longest kill
Clearly shows that the fights were definitely here.
Yes, the fight was definitely here, and the healing too was definitely here. That a lot of team was mostly healing where they were getting the damage, because even Pubg, it was surrounding with compound, so you might get naded and you try to heal again, bandages, even painkiller count onto the healing. But these throwables, my god, 238 throwables, that when they tried to get into Pubg, they needed to get more utilities to be able to use, and 66 knockouts, only 60 players was onto the lobby, 53 elimination. So there was nearly 7 players was sent back to lobby by the zone, I must say. 2 airdrop was looted, but I did not see any airdrop gun was being used into this match. Maybe there was Temper also using the sniping, but I think on Miramar, that's going to be starting in a few minutes. We're going to see more teams that's going to take sniping onto the Miramar. But this was the stats that we saw, and now the top 4 teams: Mercenary Union getting 8 kills, 19 nades using, and 20 smoke.
That's a lot. That's
Yes,
a lot.
that's a lot, with 165 damage, and 𝗚𝗦𝗦𝗓𝗔 getting 5 kills and 15 nades being used with 22 smoke, 1 vehicle elimination. and coming second, Rex Regnum Quick, 2 kills only and 324 damage. Reject X, fourth team that got chicken dinner, 8 kills, 1,816 damage. 19 nades has been used, the same nades as Mercenary Union. 22 smoke. What's a play coming from those teams onto this match?
I believe that Reject X was quite unfortunate into that match, even if they managed to get that chicken dinner, but it clearly looks like they wanted more. We saw them onto the 4th zone. They were looking for these fights. They even went into that Potato Hill. They were looking for these places that maybe some teams will be holding to engage into some 4v4 fights very early on. They also baited a lot of teams. They wanted this team to fight them, but these teams were not choosing to go into early fight. So 18 elimination points for them, quite decent. 18 points, but they surely wanted more. We saw them, they were before this game into the 14th position, so that 18 points, yeah, indeed will help them to climb this leaderboard a little bit. But Mercenary Union as well, keeping up with the consistency that they've been showing since the first game. 8 elimination points for them for a total of points. So these teams are keeping on the consistency. Even Team Thunders, we saw them into that few loss zone. We saw a big clash between Vibes, Team Thunders, eventually the gaming during that zone when that zone started to going outside of Pochinki. A lot of teams decided to take some houses into Pochinki, but then it started to switch out. It was Reject X that took the wiser decision to go from the other side. They knew that a lot of teams will be committing into that open
Yes, that
field,
was very smart.
going into that ridge.
That small, we can say small tunnel,
yeah,
that they got inside and actually holding. And you know, onto this tunnel, it's difficult to throw nades, like, because you can get inside middle into the tunnel that no nades can be thrown inside. You must, like, if a team is trying to fight inside the tunnel, they must get inside the tunnel to be able to fight this team. So Reject positioning also was on point, as you mentioning it, because they've been seeing every team who's trying to push onto the compound, and they are only team that's not getting any pressure. So they just can focus on the team who are coming forward and getting the elimination kills. As I must say, for RRH, even they were into a deeper situation, but they had no teams from behind that can backstab them. They were just focusing forward, but smoke was only thrown. They had all utilities being used. Even they had not much crate that they could actually be using, but a well-played situation by RRH, and we hope that we can still see the consistency coming up from the last match of Miramar for PMAA for today. 3 matches remaining for tomorrow, and this tournament has been insane for the finals. Because we saw many teams which are competing, and they're trying to get the first prize, because it's the PMAC slot final happening in Kenya in September. So we see those teams, they are trying to do their best to be able to get this.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we can say, we never saw this tension, this kind of competition, this kind of plays into our tournaments. So we can clearly say that what we are witnessing is the first time like this kind of plays, was amazing plays, and we are going into a very short drop plane location. It's going to be very hard for a lot of teams as well to claim their drop location. So coming all the way from the northern side of Patona all the way to the southern part of El Azahara. So definitely a lot of team going to be considering Los Leones as their drop location, and the southern part as well. Pecado, only one team going into that direction. I'm quite surprised to see only one team trying to claim Pecado, but already some few alterations between the two teams. I see I see Reject X spotting.
He's gonna
Dog
get the
Squad.
other player trying to run to the compound. Hey, let me get a gun. But no, Reject X has the vehicle and has the gun to be able to confirm. Dog Squad, not a very good startup, but a very good startup for a Reject X gets into elimination. But
They both decided to drop near 𝗦𝗧𝗏, and this time Reject X,
Yes.
I believe, are very happy with these points. Like I said earlier during the standing, they wanted more elimination points to be able to climb a little bit on that leaderboard. We saw a little bit of leaderboard, and again we saw some glider plays.
you're getting a third knock onto Dog Squad, and there's only one player left for the Dog Squad. So Reject X, they are very happy with free elimination. But we also saw 10-11 and the team tenders dropping at Puerto, which when there was the semi-final, it was only 10-11 dropping. It's 𝗦𝗧𝗏 and 10-11 onto Puerto. We did not see 𝗦𝗧𝗏 landing onto Puerto. We saw 𝗦𝗧𝗏 landing near Power Grid onto the semi-final, and still 10-11 landing onto Puerto. But also mentioning Tampa, they was landing onto the new drop called Truck Stop. But now they do another split rotation onto 𝗦𝗧𝗏. If this fight is going to happen onto 10-11, because Puerto is a bit, there's a high ground, but it's also, it keep going onto a decent, because we see two players from 10-11 onto Puerto and one onto the ridge. So they're pretty split with each other. And Team 𝗦𝗧𝗏 playing with a trio might be, if they get one knock, 10-11 definitely is going to need to put the pressure onto this team, because they are in the zone. They don't need right now to rush the things, but if they have to get vehicles to get more the things that they need first. But we see that 10-11 already have a buggy, so I don't think they need to try to concentrate on the vehicle yet, but they need to have an angle to be able to take this fight, because they are not pretty sure where all the player are located, except for maybe one or two players. But I don't think they have the information on Nagato, because for his situation, they already have a transport and there's one player onto the top of Nagato. They might have the idea to be able to push him better, because his teammate won't be able to give him the cover or even revive him. So I don't think 10-11 have the information that there's one player from 𝗦𝗧𝗏 onto this compound.
Hopefully they managed to do something out of it. We've been seeing every time 𝗦𝗧𝗏 committing into some quite weird ways to anticipate to push a team or to hold on a push. But on the screen, Vibe eSports 𝗦𝗪 a team that I've been saying since the start of this stream. I'm very surprised, coming all the way from the Group A. They even got a chicken dinner, and in that Group A, they got the 4th position with 32 points and 1 chicken dinner. But they did a nice run to reach this final, and
True.
The consistency are here. They are playing the same strategy that they played during the semi-final, trying to get into that top 4, top 3. But this lack of elimination points can cause them, can make that different, because those teams are looking for the top 3 to get the prize pool. But the aim is will stay for this 𝗦𝗏 Africa. By the name of this tournament, the 𝗦𝗏 Africa is for that top 1, because it's the top 1 that's going to get that slot for the PMAC. But things are starting to heat up, unfortunately, again for 𝗦𝗧𝗏. 10-11, spotting a few of his players, and 𝗦𝗧𝗏 they were already a trio, and now they're gonna be a duo, unfortunately. But I wanted to mention, we can see a little bit what is going on with the overall ranking. At the right, we can see Reject X. They were at the 14th position last game's guiding.
Yes.
And this time we can see that at the 4th position, that chicken dinner and that amount
Boosted them.
of points that they managed to get did really boosted them for sure.
Yes.
They are at a better position than they were before.
And even that RRH, they have like 10 points more than the second, third place, and fourth place, and even fifth place, and even sixth place, and even seventh place.
Crazy to see
one
that
chicken dinner is gonna change things around.
It's crazy to see that because if we Team Thunders right now going against not a very wise decision to go against 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏. 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏 this time taking some early fights compared to the 3 games that we saw 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏 𝗦𝗧𝗏 always late into the action, but this time they have already been putting some presence, some pressure, some attention here. Team Thunders, them boy, this time not knowing where to throw that nade, but well thrown this time. Get enough on the 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏, but unfortunately not enough to send that back to the lobby. But he managed to get one player, 629. Unfortunately,
it was very funny for the scene of Anna. It's just, okay, you put a knock, let me just finish the guy and we just go back to the lobby. Unfortunately, one player from Team Angry, he got knocked by a nade which was well cooked from Tenders. But when Anna saw the knock and say, okay, I'm going to finish the guy and we are going back to the lobby. So Angry, he was just 6th position onto the live leaderboard to the right, and now he already 2nd position. So this leaderboard is looking very, very close, very close to, with each other. But we see Rogue eSports fighting the Mercenary Union and have one knock onto Nova. And on the kill feed, we see that the last player from Dog Squad put one knock, I think 2 knock onto 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏𝗏, and he got eliminated by Paradox. So
2 knocks. We can see on the
2 knocks, yes,
into 𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏𝗏 from one player of Dog Squad.
One player of Dog Squad. So I think that they did try to get the information where he was, but as we are seeing now, Mega, Rogue, they are in a very, very bad position now. I think for them is the best way to retreat and try to have a different situation to pass the bridge, because on this bridge of Miramar, it's different than the bridge on Erangel. So if they try to pass this bridge, it's gonna be difficult, so difficult for them, as they might lose some players. So
True, and now they are outside of the zone. If they have only this
Rogue Thunder got
bridge.
one knock, and they need to try to make the revive, because we can see that Dobrox is trying to make the rotation. Oh, he will try to revive his teammate and make the rotation to the right.
Luckily, I believe Mercenary are falling back or trying a different angle. But Rogue eSports, they are playing with fire. They want to try to get maybe one knock from the Mercenary. And the Mercenary, they are indeed sticking around. So Rogue eSports has no choice. Nice smoke on this bridge to give them the opportunity for a revive, but Mercenary, they are indeed looking for that angle, prison as well, checking around. So like you said, Rogue eSports in a very, very bad situation.
Wow.
They are outside of the zone. They have only this bridge to cross. They have 2 options: jump into the water hoping for a boat, or falling back and taking the other bridge, which is very far. It is very far and outside of the zone. It is indeed the first zone, which has just closed, and right now is the second zone that's gonna do a little bit of damage. But they are definitely gonna be losing a lot of first aid and a lot of bandages during that rotation, and they are indeed doing it. They are falling back and prefer to take the other bridge, and Mercenary as well are falling back when seeing Rogue eSports were rotating. So if we can get a mapper, so we can see this new zone that definitely look very, very interesting. I've never seen into this tournament, at least, and for a long time, this kind of zone into Miramar, a zone closing like literally 50%. I can see 47% of this zone is into the water, and we have one player of 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, 2 players of 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, like they are getting into that little.
I think they tried to fall back when they were taking a fight against 10-11, and they saw that, because even this zone, Mega, we did not see those particular zone into eSport.
After a long time, we see a zone like closing on the beach of Miramar, and And it's going to be very interesting if it keep on closing on the very edge of the water. We're going to see a lot of swimmers, a lot of fishermen. And
𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗧. Yes, it's trying to get a deeper angle onto the high ridge of Impala. And X-Force Reject needs to come back onto this game because they're still 9th position. Not enough points that they accumulated for this for the first day of the final. But the third match of Erangel was pretty good match for them. I must say they got 7 points, but still need to come back onto the Miramar.
Seeing this kind of zone and knowing where 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗘 was, I'm quite surprised to see them not taking the decision to take a boat instead to get into that zone, like knowing that literally half of that play zone, the safe zone, is into the water. They decided to maybe to secure all of these vehicles, but they did lose a lot of HP for that. So we are going to see how they're going to be handling this situation, getting to the zone, but things are heating up between RRQ and 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗡𝗗𝗏. 6ix9ine spotting MLK4 and sending in, flashing in back to the lobby. Kazin, who decided to fall back, but falling back into the direction of RGC this time. Is he gonna be falling back? He's Mirado starting to smoking up and finally managed to get into the cover before it blows. Unfortunately, this time this Miramar game is not into the favor of 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏. 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏 been trying everything, every strategy that they can on the first 3 games. On the first game, we saw them trying to go aggressive. It didn't work. And the 2 Erangel map, we saw them going into the party very late, and it did quite work out for them until, of course, they started to fight outside of the zone. But this time, losing all of his number. But they have Kazin still alive. I believe into 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏 with that player. But we saw into the group stage playing very well. And I believe that 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗏 can do something out of this.
The split of Rage, that's a very nice split because they're getting every information they need in front of them, and they managed to put one knocker onto 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, sending 1 player back to the lobby. I think there's only 3 players. There's 2 players left for 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and we can see Reject X fighting Team Temper onto the feed. Rage are taking the high ground and the compound. Surrounding up this team of how they are communicating to be able to hold this split is very, very nice and impressive.
𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏
Yes.
20 seconds before we know what's gonna happen to this play zone.
Yes, 20 seconds, yes, because the stage 2 is nearly done for the stage 3 starting, and Reject X, I think they decide to play more aggressive onto the Miramar because we can see they're trying to get the elimination. Even they kill the full dog squad, and
This is gonna be aggressive fight.
yes, it is because I think they put a knock onto Temper and they're trying to put the pressure, but we can see that nearby of those teams there's Team Rogue eSports onto the left of Team Temper and Reject X. So
Temper, let's go here. Temper getting a few things are heating up here between, of course,
even
Temper
Rogue eSports
and
joined
Reject
chat.
X. Rogue eSports?
Rogue eSports joined the chat, just put a knock onto Reject X, and Anos putting the pressure onto Temper, and Rushgod decided to cook 1 nade to throw, but they are pushing him, but he got molly by his own. Coco just threw a molly and just got knocked by his own molly. What's happening, Coco? And the nade being cooked by the last player from Temper. Rushgod taking consideration is his end, but Rogue eSports getting the 3rd party from the ridge. Anos, the last player from Reject X, and the last player Zinc from Temper. Team Rogue eSports are coming very close by to be able to get those elimination points. Is a very good decision that Rogue are taking because they were into a very bad situation early on onto the bridge where we saw Mercenary Union was trying to block them, but now they can actually get those kills. They tried to push next to Anos onto the compound. They didn't know that there's 2 different teams. Only 1 solo player remaining. They will try to throw every nade that they can onto this building, but Anos holding onto the ridge. He might get spotted by 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗘𝗗𝗏 from behind on the window. Nova, he doesn't need to push alone. He needs to wait for his teammates to be able to push, because this situation might also be reversed, because Anos also, we saw how good of a player he is. So 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏 must do this decision making and push together, as they should not lose some more times. And Nova might get knocked from Anos nades, and yes, he got a bit of damage, but no knock from Team 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏.
This fight is like you are saying, Skydo, this fight is taking way too much time. I don't understand why they need to put that much of people into the high ground for that cover. They need to flush out that one player, but they need to consider that there's Zeke also around from the Temper team. So do they know that there are 2 solo players left into this fight, and also RRQ are joining this party, which has already been starting up, and I believe Dobron can spot this player from RRQ if his angle is correct, but still it's taking way too much time. And we saw one of the players, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏, decided to take a wide decision to fall back and not engage into this fight. It's I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know what to say. It's wise. It's a very wise decision for 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏. They are not confident into this push, so they fall back. They are leaving Dobron behind, but so they are trying a different angle. Maybe thinking that okay, there might be some teams who's gonna be closing in very soon, so they need to put themselves into a defending position instead of committing into this compound and getting a few knocks where they will need time to reset that fight. But Temper Zeke still around, so he can get something out of this fight.
And yes, because if 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏 did try to see every the kill feed of Team Temper and Team 𝗦𝗔𝗔𝗏𝗏 on the kill feed, they would have get more information and would be like more confident on the push, because they were not confident onto this fight. When they were coming on third party, I was like, okay, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏 is trying to get those eliminations, so they are confident onto this push. But there was only 2 solos that were remaining, and it was not a pretty good decision from them. They would be able to get those 2 elimination kills if they played it smartly to push into the zone. But zone now closed. We can see that 10-11 and RRH are very pretty close with each other onto the warehouse, and we can see that even 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏 are trying to get into the exact same position, and the final boss also holding the ridge of Impala quite very well. Behind them is X-Force Reject, and onto Impala now. The zone is not shipping Impala, so those team Trinity Gaming, I can see 1 lost player from Angry, and the full squad of Vibe. They are not gonna have the same zone, only Vibe or into the zone. Now we can see a fight against 1 lost player has been already sent back to the lobby. Those teams, they need to take the advantage that RRH are the first team positioned into this leaderboard. So those teams who are competing against it, they need to take the advantage now, because they have the points that can be made. And we were mentioning about 𝗦𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏, but unfortunately the zone was not closed into the water. Final boss having the advantage to be able to take the kill.
Paraboy managed to get into that cliff. It's gonna be hard for him to climb that bow, but still, when RRQ decided to get into that action, 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏 was very well prepared for it. We only see 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏 with the molly, gonna be very devastating for RRQ this time. But 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 is here with the DBS, putting the job done here, and he's quite frightening right now. But 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 managed to get that crazy 𝗦𝗏𝗏, and the remaining teammate of RRQ decided to wisely fall back, not to lose even more numbers. So crazy to say, 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, are they still a full squad? Yeah, they are. They managed to stay as a full squad. It's gonna be very interesting to see this upcoming end game. But we saw the final boss claiming that eastern part of the cliff, they are making sure that there's no one behind them before attempting anything to get into that few lost zone to this game. But RJC joining the fight as well, so they are getting surrounded this time by the final boss. These nades can be can be very, very, very difficult for them to anticipate, because final boss are kinda decided to. The zone has shifted, Skyu. Definitely, if you see them moving like that, the zone has shifted.
I think
to
it's
the
very
south.
hard shift. We need a map to be able to know if it was a very hard shift, because we saw that 10-11 was pushing our Rage onto this compound. Now Reject got into the action. The last player for Anos, he's trying to survive for his team. He's trying to get the mark for his team, and 10-11 is putting the pressure, because they know that there's only one player trying to get into this area, and Trinity Gaming is also into the warehouse. But Anos, he's gonna get smoke. He's trying to smoke the area to be able to confuse the player of 10-11, but 10-11 is not gonna take more time. He's trying to push the player from Anos. Anos is bare low onto HP. 10-11, yes, they're going for the push, and the fight just switched onto Impala. But 10-11, Anos managed to put one knock, send one back to the lobby. He's very low on health, but what's a play by Anos? We knew that he was a very good player.
8 elimination points.
8 elimination for Reject.
For Reject X.
So the two last match was their match for Reject X. Now we can see a fight. Rock Esports, aka RRQ, managed to get a revive, but they're still cooking a nade. Is this nade gonna connect for Nova? Yes, it did connect. No, it did not connect, but they managed to get one knock. But 6ix9ine is throwing a nade, which can be fatal for Rock Esports. But Rock Esports, they need to think how to be getting the zone, because the zone is closing in now. And the stage 5 is closing, putting the knock onto 6ix9ine. He's still throwing nades.
Too many utilities being thrown on about one player, and finally the smoke dissipated for them to see them. So definitely that hard shift, Skyu, has been penalizing a lot of teams that have placed their bet into that northern part of the play zone, and all these teams, except one team which kept on staying into the southern part, was 10-11, which I believe can be that one team holding a better position into that zone. We can see on the screen what's going to be the next zone, but this time X 10-11 and the final boss can be in a very good situation if they manage to hold on all these push. But we need to remember there's also Rock Esports as a full squad. Only 2 full squad into these last few fights that we're gonna see. Rock Esports and the final boss. The final boss keeping on putting a lot of job here. 5 elimination points so far, but they are quite spread into that eastern part of the map, and they might get spotted by these few teams. By the sport getting into the part, but Rock Esports decided to come all the way into the middle of this play zone, and they are definitely gonna spotted by all these teams, and they had been sent back to the lobby by final boss. This time the final boss, they are showing who are the boss here. Trinity Gaming has only 2 players, 1 player for RJC and 2 players from Vibe Esports. Vibe Esports, once again, they are here. They are keeping the consistency. If we talk about placement points, they are keeping up the pace, but unfortunately, with a full squad of the final boss, we saw the final boss how they perform as a full squad. We saw them trying to take a few fights versus a different team. It didn't work out well sometime, but this time they have that opportunity to prove themselves that they are indeed
might be a game for the final boss, because the way they have been playing, and they are the only squad that's 4 men standing, trying to get the elimination from Vibe.
They are committing a lot, bro. Yes. Are committing a lot. Where are the remaining teams? Where are Trinity Gaming?
And only 3 players are concentrating on Vibe, and 1 player are just concentrating on the warehouse of where Trinity Gaming are holding. So it's a very nice communication and synergy coming from the final boss that we needed to see since the beginning of this match that started from Sanhok. But now we can see a different performance coming from final boss, getting 1 knock from 10-11, putting more pressure and pressure. I don't think he will be able to get the revive, or if he might go for the revive, it might be deadly for this last player from 10-11, but he will try to get the revive. I don't think it was a very good decision though, because even final boss are cooking 2 nades to be able to throw at this direction, but I don't think he will be able to get the connection. And Trinity Gaming still holding the the warehouse of this location, and Final Boss are still trying to put the effort onto 10-11. He managed to get the revive, but will need managed to get a revive and got knocked back again, so they will need to try to push the last player from 10-11, and Kiro is trying to get the perfect angle to
doesn't get any points from that, because Final Boss as well, they were a team which were kind of struggling, especially during the first game.
10-11 is reviving, getting knocked again, and I think that nade is going to be over for 10-11, and it is. And yes, it was the nade. It was not the nade, it was the Pyro, the player from Final Boss, that sent the 10-11 back to the lobby. A Geo from Trinity Gaming remaining onto the scene. Final Boss, they are pretty sure that they already won this chicken dinner. Kaiba onto the blue zone.
They don't have the information. They are throwing nades.
I don't think Kaiba is trying to give the kill, but he get knocked. He gets spotted. Nax, the only player remaining from Trinity Gaming. I think they have the information that he's upstairs. But yes, they get the elimination from the shotgun, a jump shot from Final Boss. What a play it was for the Final Boss. We was not seeing this play style from the beginning of the match of Sanhok, Erangel. But for the match of Miramar, it was very on point. Well played for the Final Boss.
They did use a very nice strategy when we saw that this zone was closing it at the very end eastern part of Miramar. We saw the Final Boss going straight away to that cliff, making sure there's no team behind them. And the way they were in a formation, keeping an eye on this, on that whole part of the eastern part, keeping an eye on the northern part and on the southern part as well. I was very surprised. Like, I believe all these teams were very surprised to see this hard shift shifting all the way from the northern part to a compound.
Yes.
Because most of the time, hard shift, if there are a lot of compound around, they usually shift outside of this compound, not to give that advantage to a team which were already there. I'm talking about 10-11, which were already into that southern part, and as well at Trinity Gaming. But the Final Boss, they knew they had that eastern part clear. They used that road. They had a lot of vehicle to use that into that advantage, and finally managed to get a chicken dinner. Like I was telling you, the Final Boss were very, very unlucky into the first game of tonight. That Sanhok game, they only got 3 elimination points out of there, and they did a kind of okay second game, but the third game as well was not enough for
To
them.
the favors, yes.
But this last game of tonight, this fourth game, this Miramar game with that chicken dinner, and I believe we quite a lot of elimination points as well. I believe these are numbers that I was expecting. So they did give a better place into the fight. And on the screen we can see, unfortunately, Team Thunders facing the Angry 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏 very, very early on into that very first stage of this Miramar. When we saw
This
Anais,
was pretty funny.
Yeah,
This was pretty
Anais
funny.
like,
when you saw
okay,
Anais, okay.
well, you going? I'm taking this before leaving back to the lobby. So points. These are still points because Team Thunders as well. They had received a chicken dinner during the second game of tonight, the Erangel map. So they definitely are contending for this top 3, top 1. So all these teams are looking to get a hold on this overall prize pool of $500. And also this early fight, yet again, we see unfortunately Dog Squad Somalia, the Somalia team, getting bullied here and there by different team every time. Sometimes they do win, like we saw. They did win some 5 versus Exusia, but this time Reject X, they were around. They both wanted to land into Chumasera, but unfortunately couldn't make it through. And a team that we wanted to keep an eye of an amazing performance was Reject X into a big 5 versus Tampa. They all started to lose, to trade their teammate until it became a 1v1. Then Rogue Sport came. We also saw Tampa, like Coco, unfortunately knocking himself with some molly. So it was quite a crazy fight between Tampa and, of course, but we saw 10-11 also into part of this fight. 10-11, which managed to send I believe RJC back to the lobby. And nice fight as well. for Rock Sport into this highlight. We can say Rock Sport. Unfortunately, when we saw them into that last zone, they were only 2 player. That's one thing that we saw, and they decided to literally come into the middle of this fight, crashing straight into some deadly final boss hands. So it was kind of weird to see this kind of situation, and of course this few N5, which so one of the player 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗚𝗏 Anos putting some work done there, getting the placement points, securing some elimination points as well. So
because even our Rage got sent back to the lobby quite early, so I think they got only 1 point together for this last match of Miramar. So it was a very good match for them, and a lot of team would be able to catch up to our Rage, and even Trinity Gaming was onto the top 5 teams on the leaderboard. And now I think the final boss joined onto the chat, onto the leaderboard, and actually bullying several times the 10-11, because I saw him got revived like 3 times and getting knocked again. He was thinking, okay, I will be able to survive, to be able to get in the zone, but no, they were nails being cooked from the final boss and getting this chicken dinner by the jump shot. It was very well played, and they got 13 kills in total. Chicken dinner, that's 23 points for the final boss. And we see Pyro final boss with 1001 damage. He was putting a lot of damage for his team, getting a lot of damage, and even he had only 38 damage taken, so not many gunshots that they were fired onto him. So he was getting the elimination without being noticed. So he got 3 knockouts and 6 eliminations. So 3 kill was stolen from to the surrounding, because they had a nice split we saw onto the map of Miramar near Impala. I mean in the middle of Impala and Puerto, where Puerto 10-11 looted and Impala. It was supposed to be DK looted Impala, but the thing I just remember now that Dog Squad, why they were pretty confident of dropping 𝗬𝗏𝗧𝗏, because Reject X, there was no one at 𝗬𝗏𝗧𝗏. Reject X looted at 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗏. Anyway, now we're seeing the MVP, the Pyro final boss, as mentioned. 1001 damage, 6 elimination, 3 knockout, 4 assists. What a player coming from the final boss, Mauritius. And
Pyro coming all the way from Rock Sport, joining the final boss. It's maybe the first time that we see Pyro as the MVP. We usually see Ara as a MVP into this kind of lineup, but this time it is Pyro, which is getting way better than our old Ara, which is no more Memi.
Yes, you're right. And head-to-head Pyro against Reject Anos, where we saw that Anos also did some amazing fight against Temper. Even he survived that. Rock eSports did not push him, but still got killed by 10-11. But the damage is I'm not going to say pretty similar, but very close with each other. 864 damage, and no assist was given from Anos. And I think Pyro, he made 4 assists for his team, so it was very good. But Anos managed to get 5 knockouts, only 4 kills confirmed for the head-to-head. And well played for both players that getting head-to-head against each other. 2 Mauritian players, nice, well done. And on to the top 4 players, we see 2 players from Rock eSports. 2 players we already know, that's Pyro and Anos. But let's go on Rock eSports. Why he got getting 4 elimination, 5 knockouts, 714 damage, which they were playing a bit aggressive. But the fight where we saw Temper and Reject was taking a fight, I was not thinking that Rock eSports is gonna fall back onto this fight, because it was easy kill for them if they knew how to take it all together. Only just with 1 cover and 3 player actually crushed the compound. But I think it was lack of information, that's why they did not crush to the compound. But well played for Rock eSports. Match stats, the damage from early on was better, was nearly 14,000, and even the healing, even the longest kill, even the throwable, everything was different. the Erangel, Mega, you,
Yeah.
you honestly, it was better. It was like more aggressiveness that we saw onto the teams that we were not expecting. So I'm gonna say that I know I say that onto the stream that Miramar is my favorite map, but I'm gonna change my decision now. So I think Erangel must be my
telling
favorite
you.
place to see, because
Yeah.
those fights today was actually so insane that those teams has been putting, and I can't wait to actually see the leaderboard of how many teams is going to be very close to each other. And there's only 3 games for tomorrow for their performance to be shown and to actually qualify for the PMAC slot finals. Top 4 teams: 𝗦𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗗𝗏, 5 kill, 1097 damage, and 186 smoke being used. But we see the final boss, 19 nades, 13 kills, 2,341 damage. What's a play coming from them? Trinity Gaming, 1 kill, 355 damage. And last team, the top 4 team, is 𝗦𝗦𝗏𝗏, 3 kill, 490 damage. Well played for those top 4 teams, and we are still waiting for the leaderboard, because I know everyone onto this chat are waiting of seeing the leaderboard. But now we're gonna see the leaderboard for the match of Miramar.
If we don't count 10-11 from Nigeria, that Miramar game was definitely between Mauritian team. Like all this Mauritian team.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Reject X, Trinity Gaming,
That's
Rocky
true.
Sport, Vibes, and
I just
Final
noticed
Boss.
that. Yep.
So crazy at its seam, but you can look at these match ranking stats. 13 elimination points for the final boss. We have a total of 23 points for them. Very, very different. Like, and we are not talking about double digits right now. We're talking about a lot of points for them. They literally being the one team fighting every team, getting those elimination points, stealing points, maybe because Vibe Esports this time at the second place with 5 elimination points, with a total of 9 points, along with Rocky Sport as well. We saw Rocky Sport hesitating with a lot of opportunity to get a hold on elimination points, and they did have 2 elimination points in front of them from a team that was in front of them, but couldn't seize the occasion for that. 10-11 still into the party. We saw quite a 10-11 very different from the groups from the semi-finals. So only 3 elimination points for them for a total of 8 points, and this time, unfortunately, Reject X, no placement both of them, only 8 elimination points. They are second into the elimination point ranking for that game, which is very good, even if they had only 1 player which managed to get into that few low zones. So
how the overall
Overall.
ranking is gonna be, because RRH also died early, getting only 1 point that we saw
that.
onto the leaderboard of Miramar. But I think it's going to be very, very close to each other. Even Reject X, even the final boss coming close, Angry. And I think the only team that needs to come a bit forward that we saw performing good, but today I don't think it's a very good day for them, is X-Force Reject, because we were expecting, even me, I was expecting a better performance, a better play, because you showed it onto the semi-final and it was not the same as we saw today. But
maybe it's gonna be on Friday, because
it's only 3 matchup, maybe. But because you saw you said it that comeback always on point, that it can happen to Chicken Dinner, or even one Chicken Dinner getting 20 kills, because we saw that those teams getting 3,000 damage onto the semi-final, which there was only 2 teams that did those kind of damage. There was X-Force Reject and Mercenary Union, if I well remember, that did 3,100 damage.
So let's take a look at this overall ranking for this 4 game that we witnessed tonight. So on the second page, we can see team like Exusia they've been looking, finding themselves into some weird fights. I believe it's a team that I want to see working again, like they have a full night to consider working on how they're gonna get these points, how they're gonna be attempting this team fight, because it's not what we wanted to see for a finalist into the PMAA. And 10-11 as well, I've been saying like a few moments ago, different 10-11 that we are seeing into that final. Dark Squad Somalia as well trying their best. Vibes Esports this time, unfortunately, these consistency with the placement points are definitely not working out for them. Temper as well. The final boss, even with one chicken dinner, they are still at the 10th position, but I believe it's going to be very, very close. We are already seeing the numbers being 10, 11, 11, 13, 13. Even X-Force Reject as well at the 13th position. So these numbers doesn't seem to look. Let's see how it's gonna go. If we can see the front page as well. The first page is gonna be very interesting. As a reminder, there's only 4 games that was being played. So at the first position, we see our 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗟𝗏 with a lot of elimination points and placement points as well for them. So these are being accumulated. So they are definitely need to be checking these again. So 38 for them so far, Trinity Gaming as well. These points are very close except for regional. I don't think this overall ranking has counted the 4th game.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
It's only an overall ranking for the
free
matches. So definitely looked like something that we saw when the game started. We saw the same points. We saw 38 and 26 for our 𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗏 and Trinity Gaming. But I believe that's something we're gonna give you for now, ladies and gentlemen, because we are gonna keep the suspense for tomorrow, because it's gonna be for sure tomorrow, but that's gonna be more interesting. This 3 final game, we have 1 Miramar, 1 loss Miramar, and 2 Erangel back to back.
I'm excited for the Erangel.
Yeah, we already saw 2 crazy Erangel games.
Too crazy, too insane.
So,
yeah.
Even that Miramar game, like that zone, which were definitely been switching into a zone that we have not been seeing for quite a long time, into that eastern part and very close to a cliff. I haven't seen it a whole year this year, but that was a lot of action that we have witnessed tonight, and yeah, that's gonna be the first day of this of our PUBG Mobile in Africa, brought to you of course by 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏. Thank you for being with us, and if you enjoyed so far, make sure to subscribe to our channels, socials.esportsfaction.com to not miss tomorrow, because tomorrow is gonna be.
I don't think they're gonna miss it. I don't think they're gonna miss it.
You definitely don't want to miss anything that's gonna happen tomorrow. We are totally sure that there are gonna be some switching. RH definitely not be holding that first position, and maybe a lot of the points gonna be so close. We're gonna see tiebreakers, and it's gonna be something not to miss for sure. So thank you for being here with us. We welcome you tomorrow, same time, so 8:30 GMT +4, to assist for the 3 remaining game of the PUBG Mobile in Africa. And that was everything for us. We see you tomorrow for more action on eSports Faction. Good night.
Take care.